Hello and welcome to The Big Issue on Channel 1 Television and on 97.3 City FM. The Big Issue comes your way every Saturday morning from Accra, our studios here, broadcasting on citynewsroom.com and on channel1newsonline.com, where we analyze the big stories of the week for you with the perspective of our brilliant set of panelists who join us every morning. Now, if the issues are big, they make it onto The Big Issue. I am Umaru Sandamadu. I'll introduce my panelists and the topics after this. You're welcome. Why? What's wrong?
Paper jam.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
This August, join us on Channel 1 TV as we bring you sights and sounds from our unforgettable journey that began on the 1st of March to the 8th of March 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 Diaries is about to hit your screens here on Channel 1 TV. Relive the unforgettable moments from the 10th edition of the Heritage Caravan as we take you back to the events that took place within those 8 days across 14 regions of Ghana, from the rich culture and history to the stunning landscapes, mouth-watering cuisine, and unforgettable experiences. Every episode celebrates the beauty and diversity of Ghana.
So from Asante Osei line, maternally are the rulers of the Asante Kingdom since 1690.
Don't bend so Marvel, now to the champion. Don't bend so Marvel, now to the champion. What's up? What's what I do? What's up? What's what I do? Wait now, we'll be there. What's up? What's up? What's what I do? What's up? What's what I do? Wait now, we'll be there. Baby, your bow, money coming, son,
Stay with us here on Channel 1 TV this August as we take you back in time. Let's relive the memories, shall we?
You're welcome back. This is The Big Issue on 97.3 City FM and on Channel 1 Television. The show is interactive. Join us using the hashtag #TheBigIssue when you mention me at City973 or at Umaru Sanda on Twitter, now known as X. Alternatively, go on WhatsApp and send your messages 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996 or 0204 447 033. 0204 447 033, and the world will get to hear what you think. So what issues are we looking at today? The issue of legal vacation for lawyers and judges is something that has been happening for decades now. But this week, we heard that that entire enterprise is not welcomed by some lawyers. Reason is that they believe that the vacation period is meant for rest for everybody, including the people working at the upper courts, so the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court. The lower courts have their own arrangements. Now, what happens is that every August or September thereabout, they go on what is called a legal vacation, where the courts don't sit. In the past, the Chief Justice will nominate a number of courts, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20, and say, even though everybody is going on court, you will remain and work. And you would handle certain cases or some cases before you, and so on and so forth. It has always worked seamlessly until this time around, a very high-profile member of the New Patriotic Party who is standing trial has had the court he is going to be allowed to work during the vacation. The NPP as a party is not happy. Some lawyers within the party have made complaints. And just yesterday, we saw a writ from the Ofuasi Ayeribe Member of Parliament, former minister in the Akufo-Addo government, Honorable Kojo Ponkruma, go to the Supreme Court, seeking for the Supreme Court to say that the vacation that they have always been embarking on, he himself a lawyer, the vacation that they have been embarking on is unlawful or unconstitutional. So we will talk about that this morning. Can justice wait for 2 months, and at what cost? And what exactly does it mean? Is it a political thing or it's actually the real thing? The Ghana Bar Association is opposed to the vacation. The Attorney General accepts the vacation. The Chief Justice has dismissed complaints that the vacation period or the vacation court should not sit. I have a lawyer in studio who will be helping us make sense of how these things work. All right, so that's one issue we'll look at. Then of briberies and deals, we are told that in 2014, in the height of Doomsor, when we were struggling to buy power plants to come and save the country's energy sector, some people were lining their pockets. $1 million, so many other $1 million have been mentioned. An individual, Mr. Berko, a Ghanaian, who is also an American, has been convicted in the United States of America, awaiting sentencing, which may possibly give him up to 30 years for facilitating these bribes. The testimony he gave to the court has become subject of controversy. It has to do with the Aksa Bribery scandal. Who took the money, and will anyone answer? That's the question. The Honorable Katie Hammond, who is a lawyer for former Minister for Power, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has penned a statement in which he said people should desist from saying Kwabena Donkor took any money. So who took the money? The report is there. We'll discuss it here on the big issue. Then rebuilding the New Patriotic Party. New leaders would be emerging, or would the old leaders be allowed to continue? This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, across the country, the party will be electing regional executives. It has already elected constituency executives. Whether the NPP, does that make the party stronger, or the party is busy fixing the beautiful heads, yet the base is still rotten? The abandonment that the party suffered in 2024, the disgruntlement and the apathy, has it fixed that? Is election of new executives the way to go? That is another issue that we'll be looking at here. And throughout the day, we'll be carrying that particular program or be following that particular program, where we'll be going around the country to hear from our reporters. In fact, we'll be having a show later in the afternoon to do that. So those are the three key issues we are looking at here. I want to give you some sound bites from the week. I want us to start with the issue about the Chief Justice, Paul Bafuboni, speaking in relation to the legal vacation. Hansen Ajeman. So I'll be going to that report, but before then, let me just quickly touch base with the Kumasi Bureau Chief of City FM and Channel 1 TV, Hafiz Tijani, who is currently at a voting center where the New Patriotic Party is electing regional executives for the Ashanti region. Chairman Wuntumi is not running for regional chairman. He is the incumbent chairman, but you do know he's at Nsawam. The campaign team has said the campaign for national chairman is not over yet. Hafiz, you're welcome to the big issue. What's the situation in Kumasi?
Well, so Sanda, voting has started a while ago here at the Kumasi Jubilee Park, where we are expecting over 1,000 delegates to take part in this election. 34 of the aspirants are contesting for 11 vacant positions, and all the constituencies, they are trooping in. There's enough security. The police officers have been deployed. You know, the Jubilee Park here has an entrance, the main entrance, and other exit points. So all those areas have been taken care of by the police officers who are manning this election. The Electoral Commission came so early at about 7 a.m. to set up, and they have done all the arrangements, and now the voting has started. So that is what we are observing currently. And when you go outside of the Jubilee Park, the fanfare, just to ginger the atmosphere, is also ongoing. The various supporters of the various aspirants are wearing the t-shirts and trying to still campaign for the various aspirants. So quickly, Sanda, let me speak to Kwame Asefweje. He's the member of parliament for Bosumi Frehun. He's also a member of the election committee. He is representing the members of parliament from the Ashanti region on that committee. Mr. Eje, you are welcome to Channel 1 TV on the big issue.
Thank you.
How will you describe the atmosphere today?
Very, very encouraging and motivating. In fact, we are a party that believes strongly in perfect competition. It is in our DNA. It is part of our ideologies. That is what the center-right political parties' ideologies believe in. And today is another day for us to demonstrate that which is part of us. So I believe strongly that all the candidates, we have 33 candidates aspiring today. We have 11 positions that are being contested for. By the close of the day, we have only 11 members of the party out of the 33 that will be elected. For me,
we're told 34. Or?
Fine, I'm fine. 34 that will be elected. For me, what is important is not the 11 that we will elect, but it is how we can galvanize all 34 of them to execute the agenda of the party in the region. For me, that is what is important. 2, we have about 45 constituencies that will participate in today's program. 2 of them are outstanding, where we have issues. So as part of the elections committee, we decided to stay their inclusion so we can go ahead and have a peaceful election, after which we will resolve the issue, add them to the Ashanti regional list to participate in the national elections.
Okay.
So,
which are these constituencies?
The Setre, Agona, and then Adansia Sokwa. These are the 2 outstanding that we have. And even Adansia Sokwa, we cleared Adansia Sokwa to organize the election just like Bantama. So we gave them up to 9th of this month. 9th, only Bantama was able to do. Adansia Sokwa had another legal challenge, so they couldn't go ahead to do it. That is why we are still where we are today. What is important for me is how transparent and smooth the process is going. The committee, we decided that we are zoning the region into 4 and create 4 polling stations. So polling station A is taking the Kumasi constituencies. Asokwa, Mensia, Sobe, the Kumasi Kwada, so the greater Kumasi. Then we added Tescon to them so that we have about 8 plus Tescon to them. Then the polling station B will take the far end, which is the Ahafwano Southeast, Ahafwano North, Achumangwa Bieja, Achuma Kwahoma, all of them will do police station B. Then police station C will be Bosome Frehun, Odotobri, Bekwai, and the 4 Achims, Asante Achim North, Asante Achim South, Asante Achim Central. Those who do police station C. Then the Mampong, Ejura would also do in Suta Kwamai, we also do police station D. Then we added the MPs, Council of Elders, and then the patrons to the polling station D. The whole idea is to decentralize the process and make the process easier. We don't want to have a longer queue that will delay the process unnecessarily. So we zone them like that so that they will give us a very free flow of voting. The agents too are all over these polling stations. So every candidate is expected to have about 5 or 8 agents, so that at every point in time, one of your agents is in the process, observing the process and recording happenings at the process. So that's how largely we have done it. I am grateful. I'll commend the aspirant and the delegates for how far they are conducting themselves. The process, the heat of the process will be from 11, 12, 1, because now many of them are coming from their various constituencies. Because we didn't camp anybody, they are all now coming. Those who are coming from Ejura, those who are coming from...
Indeed, and that is the Bosumi Frehu Member of Parliament, Nana... forgive me, the name is Bosumi Frehu Member of Parliament in the Ashanti region, Nana Safweje, speaking to Hafiz Tijani Abirochi for the Middle Belt. So like I said, we'll be doing more of this throughout the day here on 97.3 CTFM and on Channel 1 television as a New Patriotic Party goes to the polls. But let me introduce my panelists in studio. Let's get the discussion started. Directly facing me face to face is former Member of Parliament, former Deputy Minister. He represented the people of Gomwa West until they decided they don't like him again. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party, Honorable Alexander Abang. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my brother. How
Hope
are you?
everything is well.
Yes, I'm supposed to be fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Things are looking good. You are looking fine. You're looking very refreshed.
Thank you.
Dr. Joshua Zato is a senior fellow with the Africa Policy Lens, wearing yellow and number 3. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank
How are
you.
you doing?
I'm fine.
How
He was my JCR president in Commonwealth Hall.
Oh, okay.
He's a Vanda, but he didn't come for the Banzal Jamboree the last time.
I think
it's a pondable offense.
He didn't want to engage in profanity.
We don't do profanity in Commonwealth Hall.
The verbal things.
Yeah, we do inspirational songs.
I think I'll let my lawyers write to you.
Oh, no.
Did he tell you that?
As what? As former JCR president or as Vanda member or what?
Because I used to say that I did not want to engage in profanity.
Exactly.
And for you to insinuate that we engage in profanity, both are allegations that you cannot support.
Which are not allegations.
They are serious.
Let my lawyers
Coming from a legal hall boy.
Coming
from a legal hall boy.
Add me to the suit. To the suit.
Dr. Zato, I have withdrawn. I have withdrawn. Honorable Abang.
I have taken over.
I have withdrawn.
You have a legal hall. What do we expect?
Dr. Zato, I have withdrawn the word.
I have taken over the allegation.
Duncan Amwa, what do we expect?
Duncan Amwa is Executive Secretary of COPEC, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. He has a lot of interest since Donald Trump announced he wants to take over the Strait of Hormuz and make it a 51st state of the United States of America.
Canada was supposed to be the 51st state.
No, he hasn't succeeded in now. The Greenland was supposed to be down to now. It's going to Strait of Hormuz. Duncan, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How has the week been?
It's been okay. Prices are looking okay. And so it's not likely you get further adjustment upwards. It's likely we'll sustain at the levels we are.
The Trotro people, they are increasing the thing on the side.
Sander, let the government complete the roads that it has set out to. I mean, if you probably have to put yourself in their shoes, they are struggling a lot. A journey that should take you ordinarily 40 minutes, 30 minutes. If you are not careful, it could take an hour and a half. And mind you, it is fuel they will need to burn every single minute. During peak or rush hour periods, these guys would have to go through a lot to be able to keep our populace or the commuting public running. I have gotten a lot of reports of commuters complaining that their fares have gone up. Though GPRTU announced it wasn't going to increase fares generally. I tend to sympathize with the people who are paying more, but the truth is that the conditions under which some of these drivers or the drive force would have to operate, sometimes you cannot help but to understand why they need to go out, because if they don't stand up, the spate of accidents, lack of maintenance. If a driver doesn't get the money to maintain a vehicle, he is more dangerous to everybody than charging a little more so that they can sustain in business. So it's something to give. I don't condone that some are charging excessively, but I would beg of the commuting public to also understand that until some of these roads are done with, until some of the prevailing conditions are dealt with, we may be seeing some of these things pan out every now and then. They should sometimes bear with them.
Thank you, Duncan. Let me introduce the man who looks like me. He's just slightly more handsome than me.
Look at this man.
He's just slightly more handsome than me, but he looks like me. Associate professor, so I can say prof, right? If you're an associate prof, I can say prof.
Yes.
Because I don't want
to come.
He's a man. Professor Sharif Khalid, he's a finance person, he's an economy person, but that's not even the matter. He advises the vice president of the republic. Professor, you're not meeting him for the first time. They have to salute him.
I don't know big people.
You are
now that I know you have a list.
Prof Khalid, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
How is Prof Jane doing?
That's fantastic. You've been seeing her all around town and trying to have greater impact, from the flats to cleaning up, to visiting, assembling plans, to social events such as festivals, and to engaging vulnerable societies and advocating for an inclusive and equitable society. So she's been
responding to comments about whether she ran for president.
Well, I mean, it's the jury is still out there to judge that. But as you can see, she gave a very positive and resounding response that tend to, activate the sages in the country to say that, okay, well, a safe pair of hands.
It's good. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So, Prof Khalid is from the Upper West Region. Zato is from Upper West Region. He is from Sisala East Tumu, where they use a lot of. Let me leave it. Let me start with Honorable Alban. Let me start with Honorable Alban. Let's start about this legal issue, legal vacation, and the controversy around it. Why has it become a big deal now? You have been a lawyer for how many years?
20
years.
Wow.
I'm sure you have enjoyed legal vacation all these decades.
every year.
Suddenly, it's an issue. Can you try and help us make sense of why it is an issue now and where you stand?
Thank you very much. Greetings to your
20 years, you can
cherished-
be at the Supreme Court crowd. You should have been at the Supreme Court 5 years ago.
Yes, that's what it is. Thank you very much. Greetings to your cherished viewers and my co-panelists. Let me start with a shout out to Reverend Monsignor Thomas Kweku Ejir. Yesterday, he celebrated 50th year as a priest and 80th year as a human being on this earth.
Wow.
So, Reverend Monsignor, all the best. Congratulations to you. Having said that, let me start by saying that the issue of legal vacation is actually part of the rules of court. And the rules of court committee itself also draws its authority from the Constitution itself. And so if we go by the hierarchy of laws as stated in Article 11 of the Constitution, the provision made on legal vacation is as much law as all other laws are, even though it is subservient to an act of parliament and, of course, the Constitution itself. So long as it is not inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution, it's law and it must be obeyed. Now, what provides for legal vacation is in Order 79 of CI 47, which I may say is the Bible or the rules of procedure guiding the practice in the high courts.
Civil matters.
In fact, yes, in civil matters. And when it comes to the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court, even though they have their own rules, the vast majority of the rules are here. And as and when applicable, they would look at it because theirs is more or less appellate, especially when it comes to the Court of Appeal, appellate. It is only the Supreme Court that has appellate jurisdiction, original jurisdiction in certain matters, and as you have it. I would not want to go too much into it. But on the 79, the most important sub-rules or rules under Order 79. Order 79 Rule 11, and then Order 79 Rule 4. And with your permission, let me just read, and then we try to make some kind of analysis of that. Order 79 says sittings, office hours, and vacations. Rule 1, subject to the Courts Act 1993, Act 459 as amended, the Chief Justice may appoint any day during vacations for the hearing of causes or matters as circumstances require. And here, for purposes of analysis, I would want us to have in mind the phrase as circumstances require. Then, going forward, I said that the most two important provisions that we have to deal with will be Order 79 Rule 11 and Order 79 Rule 4. Order 79 Rule 4 says that subject to Rule 11, which I've already read, the following periods shall be observed, and here I want to underline the word shall, shall be observed in the High Court as vacations. A, the period commencing on the Tuesday immediately following Easter Monday in each year and ending on the Friday immediately following. That is not for our purpose what we are dealing with. The second one is the period commencing the 1st August in each year and ending on 30th September in the year. So this is the critical period we are dealing with now. Then the last one is the period commencing on 23rd December in each year and ending on 6th January in the next year. So this, I may say, is the general rule. Rule 11 that I read is the exception, especially because of the use of the phrase as circumstances require. As circumstances require is the same as what in judicial pronouncements they call special circumstances. And by the authorities that we have in court, they are not exhaustive, but they would be conditioned by the peculiar circumstances or the peculiar facts that would confront the judiciary as they deal with their issues. So we have to understand the use of that power by the Chief Justice within that context. So now,
so is that power by the Chief Justice discretionary so that you can talk about Article 299 or
296?
296, or this is a law closed with the president, not necessarily a discretionary power. It's something that the Chief
Looking
Justice...
at it, it is discretionary.
Okay.
And so the exercise of that discretion would be conditioned by the circumstances which will require the use of that discretion.
Okay.
Right? And so we start from the general rule. And so if there is nothing special, no circumstances require that, then it means then that when it gets to this point, the High Courts, the Court of Appeal, so this provision, even though it is in the High Court Civil Procedure Rules and may not be found in the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court rules, they apply equally to all the superior courts. And by this I mean the High Court, and with recent events, let me mention the regional tribunals, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. So they are all governed by this. So during the period from 1st of August to 30th of September, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, no business takes place there at all. In the case of the High Court, the Chief Justice would use his administrative discretion to create a few courts manned by skeletal staff, by this I mean a few judges, to deal with issues that may crop up in the course of the vacation. So for people to understand, for purpose of education, let me say that in August, courts are on vacation. Then you see that somebody is encroaching upon your land, right? And you need to quickly stop him. So you file a writ and accompany that probably with an application for injunction. If all the high courts are on recess, how are you going to deal with that?
You have to wait for 2 months.
Exactly. By that time, the person may have completely overreached you and changed the nature of your land, right? And so it is for such purposes that we have vacation judges. And those ones, they are designated so that the judge who is going to sit is aware. And the course that he's going to man he's aware. So let me use area, my area, my enclave there. Gomwa area. So as we speak now, one judge, Justice Orai, he is the one manning 5 courts, right? Because Kaswa, we have 2 high courts. Then we have 2 high courts in Winneba and 1 at Agunas Road.
Okay.
So he is the one who has been appointed as the vacation judge to deal with these high courts.
So he sits at
So
one location.
he sits on Mondays at Winneba,
Okay.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays at Shredru, then Thursdays and Fridays at Kaswa.
And he's not originally the judge in any of these courts.
He is the High Court judge for the Kaswa High Court 1.
Okay.
Okay. So in such circumstances, usually when he does not go, he as a person does not go on vacation and has to skirt around these courts, these many courts, at the end of the vacation period, then he would
Take
also
his leave.
proceed on his leave, and then we'll have a relieving judge.
Okay.
And so if you are a lawyer with a case in High Court 1, and your colleague on the other side is agreeable to it, you can tell the judge that, you know what, even though you are on vacation, because you are the substantive judge in this very court, and we have our case here, we would want to proceed with the trial. Upon the agreement by all the parties, including the courts, that can be done.
Okay.
The reason being that at the end of the vacation period, you are still not going to have the time to do the trial because that judge himself wants to proceed on leave. And so sometimes that is done. But otherwise, the vacation is for interlocutory matters like the injunction example that I gave, or somebody has committed a crime, right? And that crime is such that it must be dealt with at the High Court.
So you're saying that Justice Aure, is that the name
Yes.
you mentioned? Based in Kaswa,
Yes, High Court 1.
If I go before him in Winneba, where he sits on Thursdays
On Mondays.
or Mondays, I cannot bring an original case, or I cannot continue to litigate a matter I was litigating before the vacation, before the previous judge who is on leave now.
No, unless you're going with an interlocutory matter.
Okay. So if he comes to court on Monday and we had a case and we have come for continuation, say we're doing cross-examination, that will not happen.
That will not happen.
Okay.
In fact, he would not even have the warrant to do that. And if he goes into that, it will be a nullity.
I see. Now, does it then also mean that that's what happens to, say, for instance, if Criminal Court 4 in Accra, the judge was already there. Now, the Chief Justice has issued a warrant that these judges should remain, their court should remain active. Does it mean that the Criminal Court 4 judge who was previously hearing a matter will not continue with that hearing? She will only now deal with the interlocutory matters that will come up and not the regular cases before her?
He will only have to deal with interlocutory matters. If he is going to deal with his substantive case, like I said in the earlier example that I gave, it will have to be by the agreement between
the two parties.
the defense counsel and the attorney general.
Let's leave the hypothesis. Let's talk about the real
Yes,
case
so
now.
the real case here in High Court 4,
Yes.
we have a criminal case there. Okay? It's for, let's say, hearing. When we say hearing, we mean that we are now taking evidence. Now, even though the judge has been appointed as vacation judge, he does not automatically have the right to continue with the trial of the court, or of that case. He will have to now get the consent and agreement of the two lawyers, if I may put that, or the two parties. Here we mean the Attorney General or representative of the Attorney General and the Defense Counsel, okay, to say that we would want to go on with this case. When the two parties agree, fine. If one says no, that's it. And in fact, when the two parties agree, the law requires that the judge must state that fact in the proceedings. Okay. That, look, ordinarily we do not do trials, but with the consent of the parties, we are continuing. Okay? But if one person says that no, we are on holidays, that should be the end of the matter. So now, the Chief Justice has given a warrant relying on Order 79, Rule 11, that those courts must sit, and there is specific mention of the cases which should run. The question is, do they qualify for special circumstances or as circumstances may arise?
Does the speedy trial of cases not qualify as special circumstance, where we say that justice must be done swiftly and not offending any party?
Speedy trial only in these cases. What about the rest? Somebody also has his land issue dragging on. He wants to quickly finish and probably take judgment and be able to go and continue. The expedition, should that also not inure to that person's benefits only? Okay. Especially when we are dealing with criminal matters?
So in your view, this special case does not hold. So why is it coming up now of all times? Because it has happened so many times in the past. How come it's an issue now?
This is where
the GB has had to officially write about it.
Yes.
And for the Chief Justice to respond. And
this is where I would want to advise the Chief Justice. He's my friend. But you see, Justice Hewitt, in those many years, said that justice must not only be done, but it must also manifestly be seen to be done. And that's where the issue of perception comes in. Because in the business of governance, sometimes it is actually run by an unruly horse called perception. And if you don't take care, you may have had very good reasons for taking a particular step. But if it comes out of the very ordinary and it appears to be targeted at politically exposed persons, then you are likely to invoke the perceptional courts in people to think politics into your decision rather than purely administrative.
Okay. All right.
And that's why I was asking. But even before I go,
yes,
let me say that, you know what? Over the years, politicians are trying bit by bit to erode the confidence in the judiciary. Unfortunately, the judiciary themselves are also lending themselves to it, right? I'm going to give an example. And like I always do, I'm a member of a political party, but I'm a Ghanaian first.
You are non-conformist. Or you conform small?
I conform to my conscience. You see, let me give an example on the other side so that I will be balanced. When I sleep, I can sleep well.
Okay.
We have a practice which has also virtually erected itself into a rule of practice.
Into normalcy.
Yes, into normalcy. This practice of a judge hearing a criminal case being the same person to hear all the evidence and then to give judgment. In those days, if a judge was hearing a case, he will have to hear it to its conclusion and then give judgment. And so if in the course of it, he is transferred or he retires, The new judge would come and they will say that the trial should start de novo. It should start afresh. Okay? So all the evidence will be retrieved, blah, blah, and then he will start, so that he will have, the rationale behind it is that the judge will have to observe the demeanor of the accused person to be sure whether he is a person of truth or whether he is lying, blah, 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 blah,
read
blah.
the records.
Not just read the records. Okay? What happened? During the time of the NPP, we had this opening trial. Justice Honyanuga was the trial judge. He was proceeding to retirement, right? Then we went to the court, and the court changed the rule that it does not matter anymore, and that whoever takes over should be able to continue with the case. And so that insulation for the court to even know, insulation which inures to the benefit of the accused person, and for the court to even know whether the accused person is now remorseful or not, has now been taken away. Now who caused them? Politicians, right? We were here when the former Chief Justice, I say that those allegations could not even have removed a JCR president, right?
Now you are the one undermining JCR president of Commonwealth Hall.
Please.
It's not me.
Please. And somewhere, somehow, we got Supreme Court justices to sit and pass for the removal of the Chief Justice. Unfortunately, anytime that these things come up, the judiciary, when they have had the opportunity to assert their independence, they rather mess it up. And now, the Chief Justice is saying that, look, regardless of the 79 Rule 4, look, you sit on these cases. What about the other cases in the countryside? Why these political cases? And especially when he is the biggest beneficiary of the removal of the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, okay? And the fact that the Attorney General came, and even the Opuni case, where somebody will have to continue, they had to enter nolle prosequi and all that. He should not do things for him to also be described as NDC constituency chairman.
Very well.
Because at a point in time, the former Chief Justice was described as NPP women organizer.
Yeah.
We should not erode the confidence of Ghanaians in the judiciary.
All right.
If it gets to that point, the country is doomed. Let me end this here.
Thank you so much. That's Honorable Alexander Abang. It's a lawyer, 20 years at the bar. That's a lot. Thank you so much. Let me bring in Prof. Khalid. The argument is being made that this is normal. Going to work in the court during vacation, he has just said over 20 years happened, but there are exceptions. And so in the law, if things are prohibited, there are exceptions.
Yeah.
So you have to stick to that exception. But it appears what you are doing now doesn't fall in line with the exception, and that this is simply targeted at an individual who is against your party, and that is what they are opposed to.
And who is that individual?
The person standing trial.
Well, I really get confused with the arguments here, and I think that maybe after the conversation, we may probably, so I may ask more questions than provide answers to help, shepherd all of us within the confines of this debate. I think that I was on one of your sister networks last week when it came up, and we all described it as a colonial relic, and now it looks like the goalpost is shifting from being a colonial relic to, but the real question is that in what we call legal vacation in this country, does it translate into saying that the court systems, including the functionality of judges and lawyers or legal representation, come to an abrupt halt?
No.
Right. So if that's not the case, what are the exceptions? How discretionary are these exceptions? What's the intent of these exceptions? I think that we've come from the back of cases, as you'd say, we all try to be as Ghanaian as possible before we bring in our political lenses, where we have a series of special cases that have been ongoing for a while now, and speedy trials have been called for. The government has been accused of not doing much or would have an inability to do nothing. But if we now have a speedy train that may allow it, which is by extension, asking that some sittings could still be done within these legal vacations, why should that become a problem? Again, I'm not saying that I'm providing an absolute answer. When I started this conversation, I did say that I'm going to ask more questions than provide answers. Okay, so you look at it from different perspectives. I mean, we are modeled on England and Wales, and this exists. And I know 20 years at the bar, he'll bail me out that they have their Michaelmas, Hillary, Easter breaks, and all of that being ingrained in, which is similar to what we do. And then the long summer break that they have is exactly what we're having now from the 1st of August to about the 30th of September, if I'm right. Okay, so, but in this case, do we still have judges? Again, you can correct me, civil procedure rules in England and Wales, which probably I'm slightly more familiar with than the one here. You would see that I think Rule 2F still allows that additional sittings could be made, and even at the highest courts, where discretion is used to allow for speedy or prompt issues that may come up. I don't know if that applies.
I think order one.
Yeah. Okay. So that means that
you are dealing with order one.
Order one,
which actually sets out the philosophy.
The philosophy. Yeah. So it means that so different jurisdictions, but maybe different engagements. So yes, this is where I need the guidance for us to all see where we can have this discussion dispassionate of our partisan lenses. Because I mean, if someone is even on trial, it is in the interest of the accused that things even go faster, right? But I know that in legal issues, as again, 20 years at the bar, which I very much respect, it's a very big achievement. It's really our guardian angel on this reference point here. And I hope that as he's said that he's going to take off his partisan lens, he'll do that dispassionately to lead us all to a very Ghanaian kind of conversation that we would have at the end of the day. So would speedy trial not be in the interest of the accused, right? Would that not help in the human rights and also in the speedy freedom or otherwise of the accused? I wouldn't want to say guilt because the court of competent jurisdiction had to determine that. So why do we want to stampede this by saying that it shouldn't happen? But also, absolutely, does it mean that a lawyer, does it gag? I don't know if gag is the word again. Does it stop a lawyer? Let's use that much more of a softer word. Does it stop a lawyer or a judge from going to court? I don't think so. So, and in all of these cases that we are looking at, could they be classified as special cases? I think that this is where the questions should be asked. Rather than saying that we should bring it all, or there is politics to this, we're going to court to seek an interpretation. But in any case, has this thing not been existing for a while now? Why is it an issue now?
I'll allow it to flow, but just a few things you've drawn our attention to. So you said that before a hearing or a full trial can continue, it must be with the concurrent of the judges on the lawyers on the two sides or the two parties. In this case, Godfrey Dame and Atachi representing Edu Boahen, they have said they don't want to go to court. So if they want to go, and should the
discretion of a lawyer or two lawyers in this instance determine what a court should do? That's another question that we need to answer, because it means that if I see that I don't want to go to court or I don't want this sitting to happen, I can just go for a doctor's report to say that I'm not feeling too well and I'm not going to sign up.
Only during the vacation.
Right, yes, during the vacation. But yes, that's what I'm saying. So during the vacations, I still have that discretion or that latitude to play with.
In this case, Atachias did not say he's unwell or
no, I'm just giving an example. No, I'm just giving an example. All right, that's, yes, we can all use different reasons. Lawyers know, we all know sometimes even in legal representation, or sometimes when your client is arrested whatsoever, the best form to probably get bail condition for a client is to say he's unwell, which they get evidence to back. As to whether that is right or wrong, it's another matter of itself. So, I mean, these are gray areas probably we need to look at. I'm excited that the Honorable Kojo Nkrumah is in court trying to seek, an interpretation to this. When that happens, then it becomes a real guiding principle to aid all of us. But again, I still, ask the question, this has been existing with us for a while now. Why is it a problem today?
They say it's selective.
No, but why is it a problem today?
Because it's a politically exposed person.
Is it going to give us examples of warrants issued for the trial of certain political cases during vacation?
No,
that's when you say that this has existed.
Did we have the magnitude of those political cases in the past? Did we have oral or any of these cases we may deem as special in the past. So I think that the law is an evolving, much as it looks static, but it's an evolving discipline. And the more it's challenged, the more it brings itself up, and also its deficiencies that needs corrections and rectification. And I think that is the journey we are on now with, devoid of our politics. So for me, I don't see the politics as neither here nor there, but again, it also reveals, which is evident in the discretion of a lawyer deciding that I'll not even go to court at all. Not to say that maybe it's a medical reason whatsoever. So yes, I think that it still tells us that these are the rooms for improvements that we may all have, devoid of our politics, devoid of our partisanship.
Okay. What I'll do is to help you. Since you didn't raise it, I was leaving that for you to raise it.
Yeah.
But you didn't. And since he has raised it, I just want to help with that. He talks about precedent, right? Whether this has happened in the past relating to legal vacation issues. Now, there's a story that we have where the former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu directed 12 high courts to sit during legal vacation. That has been talked about. But the most popular one is Justice Afre from the early 2000s during the quality grain scandal hearing.
No, I intentionally did not raise these things.
But he asked. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I did not read because I don't want this to be a partisan.
Okay.
We promise Ghanaians that we are resetting.
Yes, but
so we don't want equalization of all of this. He asked.
Yeah,
so you as an independent host has supplied that, and the good people of Ghana then decides.
Okay.
For that.
So Honorable, because that has happened and that has been referenced, that the trial of help me with the names of the...
Is it Chatuchika?
No, not Chatuchika.
Quality Grain.
Quality Grain. The former ministers under Rollins, George Sepayanke and all of those people. Victor Selome and all of those. That case...
Ibrahim Adam.
Yeah, Ibrahim Adam. It happened during a vacation. And so that has been referenced by a number of people who say that if you want to equalize, then that's where you equalize from. One, that Gertrude Tokonu Justice nominated 12 courts to sit during vacation. And also the fact that as way back as 2000.
So when they were nominated to sit during vacation, were they to deal with substantive matters?
That has not been stated.
Because you see, every Chief Justice every year would nominate some courts, just like the way this Chief Justice has nominated Justice Orai to deal with those 5 courts. So every year it happens. When you go to the next level to say that even though the purpose of your appointment during vacation is to deal with interlocutory matter, however, go ahead and deal with substantive issues in these cases, then the issue of as circumstances would come in. And so as for the appointment, it happens every legal vacation. We must understand that.
Okay.
Every legal vacation it happens. So unless the 12 courts that she nominated to continue sitting, they were supposed to deal with substantive matter.
Very well.
Otherwise, it's just the same.
Okay. Let me bring in, you're done, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Let me bring in Dr. Zato. When are you going to be a professor?
I'm working hard.
Oh, I'm working hard on it. Okay.
When I grow up, I want to be like.
Oh no! Look at him. He's my senior brother. So
you are an associate professor and you are advising the sitting vice president. You think I don't want to trade that?
You also want to. It's an aspiration. You are working towards it.
I would trade it. No.
At least I haven't found myself on the ballot sheet as a parliamentary candidate.
Don't be advising with the front office. You also need advice.
Dr. Zato, we've heard from the lawyer, we've heard from the layman. I want to hear from you as the academic on this matter.
Thank you. That's good. For that, good morning. Congratulations to Mr. Aaron Essentry. He passes by exam. Very good, hardworking guy. And congratulations to Mubarak Sovian and Nashuru Canton. Oh, and there you go. Umar Rusana. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, congratulations to all of you.
The party is on you.
Thank you.
Masa.
I want Pito and the favorite delicacy from that side.
No problem. Sort it out. Yes. Mubarak Sovian and Nashuru Canton. Actually, my grandfather is from Sovian is from Kong. my paternal grandfathers. Nashuru Canton is
Just
from
tell
whom?
them that they are not
It's for the
completely done
family.
here. They have
Yeah.
exit interviews.
Nashuru is what we call Liberal Konwalola Nyama. You come back from the farm and they've given birth to your father.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like that and you say your father.
Okay.
But it's okay. He's my grandfather. And
I'm saying that tell them to celebrate in moderation and that there's more to come before.
it will. You see, these two guys.
They have now introduced exits.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Are you now going to check your social media things?
I don't know. They'll look at your conduct.
Was it introduced on the back of?
No. It's actually been part of the system already. Except that used to happen before the results are released. Except that this time it's coming after the results.
Anyway, on 2nd October, you'll be a lawyer.
For a former JCR president asking these questions, you can understand.
He wants to go and demonstrate.
So what is it? Let's say Mubarak Suvia National Cartoon Malalong Yajam Pamela. I hope that the clan, the family will benefit from your legal education and you use it to better mankind. Look, I am not, as I said, I'm a legal person, but there are certain things that you understand and you want to look at them. When it comes to justice delivery, perception is king. Perception is king, and perception matters and matters a lot. You can't run away from that. And so, when we look at these issues, we must understand that they are different. Say whatever you want, say however you want it. We have introduced a new jargon into our political discourse called politically exposed people. To then say that there are people and there are people. There are Ghanaians and there are Ghanaians. There are Ghanaians who are not politically exposed. And then there are Ghanaians who are politically exposed. We have done that to ourselves. And so you then understand that whenever there's anything involving Ghanaians who are politically exposed, we handle it different from Ghanaians who are not politically exposed. Every day, the Ghana Police Service arrests people. Every day, people go to you, but you don't see that amount of reaction until the person was politically exposed. We've done that to ourselves over the years. Every day, people go to court to get judgments. There's not every day that you see a political party get up and go to court because one of their own is standing trial. We've done that to ourselves. So perception really matters, and that's what we've done. Now, it's when you look through the lens of perception, then you see that it kind of gives some credence to accusations that in these particular cases, selective justice is happening. And again, I'm not saying it's real, I'm not saying but it's a perception. And we have created that monster. And we have to then deal with the monster we've created. And that monster is the one that we've said that it happens like this. Look, go back to you can say when Akufo-Addo was in power, there was this famous frame, Unanimous FC. We said Unanimous FC. That was because the perception was that, or what was happening seems to be that, the Supreme Court was ruling in a certain way. And now, one person or one political party seems to be the beneficiary of almost all those rules, or those rulings. Two, another political party or one seems to be what? Are they receiving or are they the loser in almost all those rulings? Perception here. So we are saying that because one person seems to be the beneficiary of all those rulings, and another person seems to be the one that is suffering from those, then there's what? A unanimous FC. We created that. You move forward. Then we say that there's something called justice delayed, is justice denied. It's another jargon we throw out. But we have not defined what is justice delayed. We have not defined what is justice denied. So we leave them hanging like that. Somebody made a case, I think we'll come back to it, this Aksa case. And if you look at it, the US authorities started investigating this Aksa case since 2016 or 2014. So look at how many years it took them to investigate it. But the day the thing hit court, they concluded in less than a month or 2 months or so. The investigations took almost 10 years or so. That is what they do. The moment a case hits court, the US, they can even investigate something for 10, 20 years. They will do that. The day it goes to court, you can then literally number how many it goes. And that is the problem we have here in this country, that the investigations sometimes are far shorter than the trial itself. So quickly round up an investigations in, in 1 month, 2 months, because you are in a hurry to appease a particular partisan base, to say that you are not sleeping on it. And then we rush to court. And the case sits in court for what? So long. Delay in proceedings was one of the main reasons why the current Attorney General gave for all the knowledge prosecutions he passed. literally saying that these cases have stayed in court for over 8 years. And that was one of the biggest, that was sufficient enough to give those non-electoral scores. Again, it also introduced another concept of what? Perception or bias in our public discourse or jurisprudence. That those cases delayed, yes. But that the men and women standing trial, the state had made a prima facie case against them. That despite the fact that it delayed, they had questions to answer. It was no more perception that the state said, you have something to answer. And that they were let go. And that all those who benefited from that ruling were members of a sitting, the government. So again, you see where I'm going with this, that the perception. So even if the Attorney General thought that his decision was sound, was based on law, perception was created that, again, either by coincidence or by whatever, all the beneficiaries were what? Members or senior members of the government. Another bias, you understand? And then 3, currently what is happening here? That either, yes, the lawyers can talk about it. Nobody's questioning the legality of what is happening. No. Nobody's questioning the powers of the Chief Justice to do what he's doing. No. In fact, you can see that. But the reason we are saying is that we have introduced the jargon politically exposed persons. We've done that. All these people are politically exposed people. 2, we have introduced the idea that in the knowledge prosecutors, all were beneficiaries, all those who benefited were members of the indies. We've introduced that too. And now we are saying that in the unanimous FC case too, we also introduced the idea that, the concept that all those who benefited were indies NPP members. And that all those who were indies members. Today, the position then is that all those benefiting are also what? Suffering or that are going through this are NPP members. Do you understand? So it then goes to create that, like, yes, you have a discretion, but that discretion, just like the discretion of the Attorney General in the knowledge prosecutors, seems to have only what? Be seen to be punishing or seems to be against your political opponents. Then, once you can make that in, then the idea of the selective justice then has some footing. That you can then say, point to that, and then say that these men and women are the only reason why they are here now is what? Based on what? Selective justice. So for me, that is what we have done. We have cornered ourselves in this discourse into these tight walls. And once you are there, the question is, how do you wiggle out? So issues of perception then can be seen. You can then point to 1, 2 things and then say that. The question is, how did we get here? Because see, the idea you are trying to create sometimes is this. And for me, if I was a Chief Justice, I wouldn't have done this. Not because I don't have the powers to do it, not because it's not the right thing to do, but because you also have a duty and responsibility to make people not have this perception that, yes, you are doing it against NPP members. For that reason and that reason alone, and for the sanctity of the judicial system, I will do it. Because we are going down a very dangerous path in this discussion, as you can see, of highly, not only politicizing the court, you can politicize the court. Because they make decisions that are, some of them are political in nature. So that they venture into highly charged political, you can do that. You can accuse the courts of that. In the United States, in fact, there are people that are campaigning saying that vote for me, I will appoint conservative judges. They say that openly. Vote for me, I will appoint liberal judges. That is literally saying that, yeah, Republicans are basking in glory because 6 or so of the Supreme Court judges are Republicans. And we know how those Republicans do. So what we shouldn't try to do is to make the courts partisan. We shouldn't make extremely partisan. And that's sometimes one of the things that in this country, I've not seen any policymaker come out to say that we are making this policy or we are doing this because we are social democrats and this is what we believe in. I don't see any policymaker come on or political party saying that we've taken this position because we are conservatives. And as conservatives, this is where we stand. Sometimes when we do that, we can then peel off the cheap partisanship to then begin to look at these issues through what? Ideological and philosophical lenses. So long as we don't do that, we are going to, and my point is that these issues, these decisions, they do nothing to cover the judiciary in glory. They do nothing to erase this. Because you hear things like, oh, when we come, we'll do the same. When we come, we'll do the same. Well, the moment you put that in, then what it means is that one person feels that they are under attack. The other person saying that they are not under attack. When it flips, when you look, when you do that, you are trying to erase the bastion of popular support for the Supreme Court. look, they are the only people that cannot, for one way, defend themselves. Touch Jubilee House, oh, they will defend themselves. They have a budget to do that, as in government communications. Touch Parliament, they can defend themselves. They have a budget, and they are all politicians. They can come out and defend themselves. It's only the judiciary that cannot come out in the same forceful way to defend themselves. Because if they do, they'll be accused of partisanship. So at most cases, they have to just lie down and take it. These things do not help them. So when we put them in that light and expose them to such difficulties, because you heard the Chief Justice speak, and there are people already picking it apart. Even though, so here's a man who feels that, look, just like the President or the Speaker of Parliament, he's the head of the judiciary. He feels that, look, I need to talk about these issues. But the more he talks, the more people pick it apart. And that is because traditionally, the Chief Justice or the courts find it difficult to communicate, especially on charge issues. So then, and I want to come to something small, a prophecy here. We have sandwich courses in the universities, in my profession. In academia, what happens is that in the system, most academic conferences are held during the long vacation. So when I was in Canada, mostly by the end of the academic year, that's around April, May. Most of the conferences are held May, June, July, August. Academic conferences. So you may have your paper accepted somewhere around December, November. Then you have the whole of the winter to prepare to go. Then November, that's the time you go for conferences. Now, whenever it's time for summer courses, or sandwich courses here, heads of departments will find out from lecturers. Are you available for the summer? Are you available for the summer? Or in Ghana, as in the Department of Political Science, we ran one of the best Masters of Public Administration courses in Ghana. It has produced some of the best students in Ghana. So if you are looking for a sandwich course to do your MPA, come to Legon, come to the Political Science Department.
We'll send you an invoice.
send it to him, send it to my boss.
And GRA would also tax.
Thank you.
Get the tax component of.
Yeah, my friend, in the
government side of things. I say GRA.
You take the bill. So come and do MPA then. Now, here's the thing. They'll ask. The HOD will say, look, these are the courses we intend to mount. Are you available? Are you available? Those who are available, they'll say yes. So in other words, I think it coming to what he's saying, like the agreement between the lawyers. Or the agreement. And if you are not available, they may look for a different person to mount your course. If they don't get, they will mount that particular course. So you can have, at the end of the day, and there are other things too in the department, because especially when we are doing it during vacation, because you don't know who has to go to a conference.
So you're saying your availability matters?
Matters. You don't know who is going for a conference. You don't know who is going on sabbatical. You don't know who is going on vacation. So one of the reasons how we mount courses has to be with, and it's for all the reasons you have. So for me, taking that from that professional perspective, then I would have thought that in this particular case, maybe sometimes we don't have to say Mike is not always right. Maybe. I don't know whether there was something that prevented the CJ or whoever to say, look, I want to meet these lawyers and propose continuing the case. I don't know whether something like that is allowed. Then a compromise. Then if one of the lawyers says, no, we are not available and we cannot do it, another one says, then you could then say that, look, I understand the need for speed, but I also understand the public perception about the court.
The judge sitting on the matter when the lawyer said he was not available, not because he's sick or has traveled. Atacha said he will simply not show up. The judge said if the lawyers don't show up, they would have to conduct their case on their own.
I agree.
Edubuahin and the wife.
Yes, you see, the lawyer too is just, so the judge is also doing what he has, I think there's a gazette or something, or fiat for him to do.
Yeah, but see, and that's a question I was going to bring, and I think Alexander Abano should be the best person to answer this. The fidelity you have to your clients as a lawyer is to defend them no matter what. Atachia here says, I am in town, I am well, my faculties are intact, but I won't show up in court. The judge says then the client has to defend himself. Is that not a miscarriage of justice? I want to hear him answer that and I'll come back to you.
You see, and that's why...
Is that not unfair and also possibly the lawyer derelicting the duty?
The lawyer is not derelicting on his duties. Let us accept it that just like all other persons who are in the public services and even in the private services have their leave period, the courts do not go on leave. The lawyers somehow, through this vacation, also have their leave. And most often, that's the time that they travel.
Okay.
Okay? And it is not for nothing that we have the bar conference
During the
within
same
this period.
So I'm
and
saying
we
that
have
if
the judiciary, their own conference within this period.
So I'm saying that if a lawyer fails to represent a client, that is a misconduct.
But
or you're saying that the
it-
lawyer
that is,
will
that, is, that is when he has no reasonable cause for doing that.
Okay.
He has a reasonable cause to be on vacation now.
Very well. That's fine. So please continue.
So I wanted to try to answer that question. See, it means that the courts have put these lawyers in that position to then decide whether you take your vacation or you come to court. That in and of itself is putting them in a rather difficult position. The suspect demands justice and fairness. For me, look, if you were the one sitting down there and you hear these things happening and you are a suspect, you may begin to think that they say the state is out to get you. You may begin to think that the case is already decided. Because why do you want to put my lawyer and the judge in this difficult or compromising situation? We could have prevented it. That's what I'm now saying, that before the Chief Justice gave this order, fiat, is it possible, in the name of consensus, in the name of repairing the reputation of the courts, in the name of trying to remove this partisanship from it, to have called this high profile and political exposed people, as you've said, and said, look, hey guys, my plan is that, even before the legal vacation, my plan is that I want these cases to start or continue even the legal vacation. That is my plan. You could do that one man too. In that case, the lawyers, if they had anything prepared, they could have then what? Move things around, as we put it. Maybe my plan was to take my family on a vacation to the United Kingdom during legal vacation.
No, but that is even when you have been appointed as a vacation judge.
So I'm saying that you could, then the Chief Justice could have called you a month to your vacation and say, hey, listen, I know you may have plans for a month to your vacation, but this particular time, I will need this thing to happen. Move things around.
Okay.
If we have even a scintilla of evidence that a similar thing was done, that would have the Chief Justice then would have come around as a very accommodating person, as a man who hasn't sprung it on them. But you leave everything out. People make their plans. People do everything. People even may do their legal calculations, everything, and maybe it's also part of their strategy. And all of a sudden, you said, so for me, these discussions do not in any way shield the judiciary from the partisans or hyper-partisanship that they are.
All right.
And that is a big deal for our democracy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zato. Let me now hear from the layers of the laymen around the table. Duncan Amwa.
In short, the trotro drivers.
Yes, the
are also here.
drivers of the show.
So,
those people are the best businessmen in this country.
you see, this whole brouhaha, legal vacation classes, whatever that is, probably they are going for vacation classes in the legal domain. Dr. Zato started very well and
ended very well.
I wouldn't say he ended very well. The Commonwealth people often end very well. You see, we're having this conversation because the political class have an issue with legal vacation. If it was my trotro folks, right, that were in court and are supposed to appear, and there's legal vacation, they will have no say but to go. But when it comes to the political class, things will have to be done sometimes to suit them, their whims, their caprices. I do not agree that the state should be in a hurry, because one thing about speedy trials is that oftentimes, if you get one or two fundamental issues wrong, like probably would have pertained in the Sedina Tamaklo issue, any appeal would embarrass everybody. And so for me, if we'll take our time to even conduct some of these trials, it helps. You build a stronger, basis for either conviction or acquittal. But it looks to me as though the clamor by the public for oral to, be fast-tracked is also pushing a lot of these narratives. We need to get to the conclusion of these matters. Sanda, I would rather a matter drags for a year so that all the legal questions are answered, all the fundamental objections, are either sustained or overruled or dealt with, so that At the end of the day, when justice is determined, everybody would say, well, it ran the full hall. I will not go any day for the speedy trials that we see. You come, you ask 1, 2, 3 questions, opinions are formed, you know. The judge forms a certain opinion based on body language, as had been alluded to earlier, that you probably are lying or you're not lying. Probably, it would even sit well for the court itself to allow the legal vacation, if you ask me, so that whatever the judges could go through, you know, the transcripts and whatever has happened. I think there's some sound wisdom in having these legal vacations, Sanda. You don't expect these legal systems to operate 3, 6, 5 days in a year. So you give them some breathing space within which some of them can travel, spend time with family, go for refresher courses, you know, do anything that resets the human probably metabolism, if you ask me. But it looks as though we would want to say, look, vacation or no vacation, it should be life as usual. Today might be NPP complaining. They did it to NDC some time ago. So today they are complaining. Tomorrow, the same people who are on the defense, right, saying that it's vacation, we need to go and probably do a few things, or I need to spend time, I won't come to court. Let the table turn another day, right? You will find the same sets that are defending, then opposing. And so the problem really is not the statute, it's not the vacation. The legal vacation is not the problem. It is the kind of politicization we are adding to this. And I would say again, I mean with caution, that let the states not be in a hurry at all. If there's a vacation...
Even when the state promised to recover all loots?
Sanda, you don't necessarily need that 1 month, you know, between August and September ending to recover all loot. All year round, you've been working, you work. It might even afford the state itself and prosecution itself ample time, you know, to re-strategize, gather further and better particulars or more evidence. If really there's something more, you know, tie a few loose ends here and there, so that you go back with a more whatever case. But it looks as though when the political parties, you know, when one is in power, one is in a hurry to use the law courts to fester whatever, I mean, political agenda they want to pursue. I completely disagree with these. If it is a legal vacation and the courts, for some reason, as Lawyer Aban indicated, one judge sitting in 5 courts, it means that it's not too much he can do. He cannot conduct certain types of trials. He will be tired, fatigued. And so there are certain things, leaves, certain bits that people can go and seek for bail and all of them. Those ones I'm sure can still be handled because you'll be dealing with human rights issues. But when it comes to trials proper, as a young upcoming lawyer, you are my lawyer before you even finish your legal thing. I am putting it to you.
First client.
I'm your first client.
I don't think I can take up a client. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation on 2nd October. Not today.
No. I have told you already that I'm your first client.
Okay. Do I have your leave to accept this?
You don't have an option. We are telling you.
Your brief is sweet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very oily.
Your first client. And that also would mean that you would need to defend the thousands of trotro drivers across the country.
Zato say they are good business, so it means there's money
a lot of the time,
they were saying it or they are.
A lot of the time, their rights are even violated, and a lot of them do not even know how to defend themselves legally. And so you go and find a situation where issues like license, he went to the DVLA, somebody procured a fake license for him. If there's a way for the state to remedy it, right? You can ground the car, ask him to go and fix the lines. And sometimes these guys are put in there. And I think that some of the excesses, probably lawyers like you upcoming would have to take a look at them so that society could be generally fair. But I am saying, do not let the NPP NDC take some of these provisions for the political capital that they seek to make of it NPP is dragging it out, okay? You are seeking to prosecute our people even though it's a legal vacation. There are evidences, a lot of them, that when they also had power, they did the same legal vacation trials. Ato Forson's issue and blah, blah, have all come up as cited cases. And I think that the two of them should depart at some point. If it's a legal vacation and the lawyers or the judicial system would need to take a certain break, please afford them that opportunity. Some of them will want to travel naturally. Some of them will want to go and attend to their own health, you know. Don't assume that because somebody is a judge, they don't have the same bodily failings we have. Don't assume that because a person is a judge, they don't need that excuse, right? To be away from court. Sometimes you're tired. You just want to go sit in your village somewhere, probably walk to a farm, you know, enjoy the things of nature. Then it's becoming increasingly evident that the political class would now want to even sidestep the legal vacation, you know, provision and say that though it's a legal vacation, we'll still conduct whatever trials. And I don't know if I'll be held for contempt, but I think that the judge should be magnanimous. You see, Atashia and co. may not be stating their positions probably based on machoism. There's a particular context. There's a legal vacation. Maybe they should have also gone before the judge to plead that because of the vacation, maybe I want to take leave of the court for 1 or 2. We should return by the end of the vacation so that you can proceed. But where you find insistence, right? Okay, if your lawyer doesn't show up, you will conduct your own. It's like you are putting the accused on the spot, and I don't find that fair. I may be held for contempt. I am a trotro person. I don't know the law. But what I'm saying is, natural law should tell you that if Sander has to go for vacation, right, and for a reason, he's earned it. He's been in court the whole period, right? It's not as though prior to the vacation, they were playing all kinds of games. They won't come to court. You will call and you have to issue summons and all of that. They've complied. They've obliged. If for a reason they need to go for vacation, Sander, the street says I should tell these politicians, stop the games you are playing. Allow the system to work naturally. Be fair to the NPP. Be fair to the NDC. It should not be one side. When they did it, they felt it was okay. Now NDC is also doing it to them. They are complaining. So then you end up thinking there are issues with the legal vacation provision, but I don't think there are. Even you, the academics, you go for vacation, don't you? And when you do, your pro-vice chancellors cannot compel a lecturer to be at work or to be at post. I don't know if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. Even if the provost compels the lecturer, the students will not come.
Exactly. So I think that the two sides should respect some of these provisions, right? Accord each other the respect that they need and allow the system to evolve, you know, in a certain matured fashion, as opposed to, you know, manipulate certain things, will do certain things to you. Look, you can do it today. Tomorrow, if it is UGCC that comes, the same NDC that probably would be very happy and okay with saying that it's legal vacation, but if you don't come, we'll still proceed with the trial. We'll feel victimized. And I think that it is not fair on us, the people. If it is legal vacation and trials would have to probably come to a certain standstill, let's do so and allow the few certain judges or appointed judges to handle issues of fundamental human rights, you know, bail and all of those things that leave of all of them. We should. I don't think that there's a lot of hula baloo about this. The state should also not be in a hurry, because I have read a lot of instances where you go to the prisons and some people have just been put in there by error.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the fundamental things you guys talk about in your law schools is that it is better to free 100, you know, for want of prosecution,
criminals,
than to hold an individual, an innocent individual. I think that the expeditious nature of conducting trials, maybe we should pull the brakes a bit, allow the system to evolve so that once judgments are come to, the entire generality of the public would have that confidence that, look, you had a fair day, you had your time. If the judges continue and say that though it's legal vacation, and attach and go say they won't go to court, and you compel the accused to have to conduct his own, how can we, the trotro people,
when any judgment evolves from the same court, trust that it's been a fair process. I think that, in all sincerity, we should be able to allow some breathing spaces here and there, but continue with the cases, except that if the lawyers indicate to the courts respectfully that they are unable to because of the vacation, I think that the court should also hear them out.
I was going to take a break, but your lawyer said he wants to do re-examination quickly.
Thank you very much.
To protect you.
Yes, let me protect him. In fact, he has said a lot of things that I wanted to say. My learned friend, my friend on the other side, said that he mentioned, or you even gave the example of the quality grain matter. Good. Political consistency is part of integrity. If it was not if it was good yesterday, it wouldn't be good today, especially when all other things have not changed, right? And so if it gave cause for people to complain, the very people who complained should not do it. You understand? That's when we will say that we are evolving.
Okay.
But it appears to me that the NPP and NDC is taking Ghana to be a turf war, right? And Ghanaians to be the booty, right? So they come and I do you. No, I'm talking here. It's a war. That's why I'm talking about booty.
Is it booty or bounty? I just want to.
No, here I'm talking about booty.
Ghana is bounty. Booty is what you.
Booty is the law. Is the process you get out of war.
He's thinking of booty in a different sense.
No, I just wanted clarification.
So please,
that is an American booty.
Please, I'm the one speaking.
We're talking about war booty.
I'm the one speaking.
It's too early.
It's too early in the day.
Okay.
Not American booty, but sports of war booty.
I'm the one speaking.
I hope your producer is stalking. No, booty bounty.
Zato's mind is all over the place.
I just wanted to know how your process.
You are an academic.
So I've already used the word war.
Yes.
That is a tough war.
Yes.
And so obviously, when you are the conqueror, you take the booty.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about.
The booty and all the booties.
Please. So
I mean, it happens. You take both after war.
You see, I think Sanda is a very good example of a bad boy. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
That's why I'm prompting production.
Yes. So you see, because they see it with a warlike mentality, you get into power, and immediately you forget about all the things we're complaining about, and you said, okay, they did it to us. Let us do it to them. We need sane minds to move the country forward instead of this cycle of reprisals. It's not going to help anybody. And so, if
be talking to your party as well,
he actually does, and I was going to last 2 weeks.
They are saying that the tables will turn.
No, but last 2 weeks,
a lot of them are also on the other side.
Duncan,
listen to me.
Last 2 weeks,
Duncan, I'm not a paragon of virtues.
Honorable Aban was on this show, and he opposed the demonstration that said democracy. He's a member of the NPP, but he didn't agree with it. So I think when he's speaking the way he's speaking,
I've always been like this.
Thank you.
I've always been like this. And if we do not get a watershed, a point that we will say that, look, enough of the partisanship. Let us think about how we're going to move this country forward. Okay? If somebody did it to us, and the hawks in the various parties are pushing for it, the sane minds should control them.
Thank you.
Because that's exactly what is happening.
Thank you.
And you would even hear somebody who is MPP man now saying that, you see, the tables will turn, you see what we will do to you.
Exactly.
All right? I think that is nonsense. We should stop it here and now. It's only then that the judiciary, who by their nature are unable to talk, okay, will be seen to be sitting there somewhere. As at now, each political party comes and they are drawing the judiciary by and by, okay, under their armpit so that they will be giving them knocks to do what they want to do. Right? So the safety net around the judiciary is being gnawed politically, bit by bit, before you realize now it will be very, very easy to sack the Chief Justice or any other judges because of political reasons. We should stop it. Now you talk about expedition. That will it not be good for the accused person himself to quickly see his fate and all that? It would have been good. But you see, all these things that are happening, okay, are coming on the back of things that we have seen. When we had the Opuni and other cases going on, it took a very long time, and the strategy of the lawyers was that let us frustrate the system until such that the judge was on retirement, or he reached the age of retirement. When he reached the age of retirement, then we will see that it will be started de novo. And the same political system was used to go and change the de novo rule. You understand it? And so somebody will have to continue. And then still it played out. Oh, let us appeal on this. Let us appeal on that. And then it was frustrated until there was a change in government. Then a new AG comes and he enters noli prosequi in all those cases. Could it be the same thing? So is it that we do not want the lawyers to play that kind of strategy? So as quickly as possible, let's expedite the trial. Please. Then you will see what I said about perception being an unruly horse. And if we don't take care, it is not the politicians that will go into the ditch. It is the judiciary itself.
This is the big issue on 97.3 CTFM and on Channel 1 television. I am Umar Sandamado with my guests in studio doing the analysis of the big stories. We've done the issue of the legal matters. We have some legal matter also coming up. It happened in the US, and we are wondering, can it be replicated here? The Aksa bribery scandal. We'll talk about that when we come back. Please stay.
This week on the Upside Down Show, Frema Edunyame meets creatives who are proving that you don't have to choose between brains and creativity. Dr. Terry Ofosu-Bright joins us on the Upside Down Show.
For how long have you been dancing? How many years?
I would say 1980 thereabout.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep up.
Well, is the dancing.
Many people now see you on TV, on social media, and they are like the lecturer who is always dancing. But how has the university taken this? Because I know that the University of Ghana can be very, very conservative, you know?
Yes, originally the university was very conservative, but the VC now, she is in full support.
And just when you thought we were done challenging your perspective, meet the degree barber who says barbering is more than just a means of survival.
So what are some of the things you teach in the theory class? If I'm coming to cut hair, shouldn't it be just practicals?
No, you have to actually understand the fundamentals. Eric, I need you to do a C motion. C motion.
Hey.
So Eric understands what a C motion is. And he's going to do
it. It's creativity, intellect, and passion all in one room. Don't miss this week's Upside Down Show, airing at 7 p.m. prompt, only on Channel 1 TV.
Looking for everything made in Ghana, all in one place? Then get ready. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2026 is here. A bold celebration of Ghanaian creativity, innovation, and excellence. From rich traditional crafts to modern cutting-edge solutions, experience the very best of Ghanaian products and services. Explore excellence across key sectors, including automobile, agriculture, education, health, hospitality, fashion, technology, food and beverages, creative arts, beauty, retail, and more. This is the biggest Made in Ghana fair, bringing together SMEs, startups, manufacturers, local creators, indigenous corporate bodies, entrepreneurs, and innovative businesses all under one roof. Discover brands redefining quality. Connect with industry leaders and innovators. Experience the energy of Ghanaian enterprise and creativity. The date is 29th and 30th of August 2026. The time is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Venue, the A4 Sutherland's Children's Park. Call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 to register. Come explore, come connect, come be inspired. Discover the brands redefining made in Ghana and experience the future of Ghanaian excellence. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from City FM. And it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank and MTN. This is Ghana Exhibition 2026, celebrating Ghana, showcasing excellence.
The Community Tracker is a parliamentary accountability project, a collaborative initiative between Channel 1 TV and the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Serving as an evidence-based project, Community Tracker documents and assesses development projects across constituencies in Ghana. The initiative includes the development of an attractive database map that identifies and tracks infrastructure projects, making information publicly available and promoting greater accountability. The program empowers communities to identify their priority development needs, monitor project implementations, and hold duty bearers accountable for the delivery of public services. It provides visibility for members of parliament who are delivering tangible development outcomes in their constituencies. Through the tracking and documentation of constituency-level projects, the program seeks to strengthen accountability in public infrastructure delivery while giving communities a meaningful voice in evaluating the impact of development interventions. The Community Tracker airs on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. with repeat broadcasts on Tuesdays 11 a.m. and Saturdays 5:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Yeah, welcome back. This is a big issue on 97.3 City FM. There's a conversation that I want to look at now. Former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor has been speaking through his lawyer, Katie Hammond, saying that he was not engaged in any bribe taking. This is because former boss of the Tema Oil Refinery, Mr. Asante Kwekubeko, has been convicted in the United States of America on bribe-related matters yet to be sentenced. We have a quick summary here for you to put the issues in perspective in case you missed it.
The conviction of Asante Kwekubeko in the United States has shifted attention to the people and transactions allegedly connected to the case. Beko was convicted on 3 counts, including conspiracy to violate the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, violation of the Act, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The case centered on an alleged scheme to bribe Ghanaian government officials in an effort to secure an emergency power agreement for a Turkish energy company during Ghana's severe power crisis, popularly known as Dumso. The prosecution alleged that more than $1 million in bribes were paid or promised to Ghanaian officials. One of the Ghanaian officials who is alleged to be involved in the scandal is former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor. But Dr. Donkor is strongly denying any involvement. In a statement issued through his lawyers, the former minister says he had absolutely no knowledge of the allegations circulating on social media.
He has instructed us to put it on record that at no point in the course of making sure that we had that power plant in this country did he come into direct relationship with the person who has been convicted in America and is waiting sentence. He instructs me to say that he has never in his life made eye contact with that person. More importantly, his instructions are that he categorically denies knowing anything about any form of inducement, any money, dollar, cedi, whatever. He has absolutely no clue what is being talked about.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office has confirmed that it has begun tracing funds and assets that may be linked to the alleged bribery scheme. Yoko says asset tracing and recovery form a key part of its investigation into the Ghanaian dimension of the case. The U.S. case involved several unnamed individuals and entities, including Ghanaian consulting companies, allegedly used to receive or facilitate funds connected to the payments. The U.S. prosecution also referred to Ghanaian officials allegedly targeted in the scheme.
So that's our legal affairs correspondent, Hansen Ajiman. But that's not all. The New Patriotic Party has a take on this matter, and now the issue has become political, except that the issue is that the power badge was brought in by the NDC. The NDC was in power. This man who's been convicted was given an appointment by the NPP. So it appears both sides have an interest in here. There's a call. In fact, yesterday the press conference was done by the NPP where they said they wanted a bipartisan parliamentary probe. Is that a solution? Let's hear this quick report as well.
NPP is demanding a public inquiry into the Aksa energy bribery scandal, describing it as the Holy Rain scandal. The scandal centers on former Goldman Sachs employee Asante Kweku Beko, who was convicted for facilitating bribe payments to Ghanaian officials between 2014 and 2017 in connection with an emergency power agreement between the government of Ghana and Turkish energy company Aksa Energy. Addressing the media, Bencher South MP Nana Ejei Bafwewa said the inquiry is necessary, citing concerns about public confidence in the Attorney General's ability to lead prosecutions.
The Ghanaian people in this circumstance deserve investigations which they can have confidence in. One that is guided not by political affiliation, but by the evidence, the law and the national interest to avoid or prevent the reoccurrence of such embarrassment on the international plane.
So that's the position of the New Patriotic Party on this matter. Let's come in studio now. I want to start with Duncan Amwa. This is your area. You with the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. I don't know if you were part of the people who traveled to Istanbul to go and inspect the plant with all the accompanying allegations that have come through.
Sander,
put issues in perspective for us.
You are my lawyer, but I think after here I'll sue you. I didn't go to Istanbul, and I haven't been to Istanbul on this matter. I think that as a country, I'll make 3 categorical demands of all of us. Let's not decide to do MPP and DC with this. The critical issues will be lost, and we will not be able to track and trace anything.
It has started already.
Exactly. The moment NPP goes on the offensive, you expect that the NDC will be on the defensive, and then the vice versa. I think that we should depoliticize it, treat it as a matter that should awaken our procurement processes and how we procure international contracts. I have, on a number of occasions, come across people who will tell you that your Ghanaian officials are probably the weakest link in negotiations. And you hear this a lot. There are times they are given documents in foreign language. They are flown out there to spend 3 days. The discussions are held on almost the second day, getting to the third day that they are departing. And most times, those contract documents, 200 pages, it's difficult even for a technical person to appraise everything. And yet, we tend to continue to do the same things over and over and over. Aksa is only throwing light on how faulty our procurement processes get as far as our international contractual obligations are. And so you end up wondering what kind of negotiations we even do, what kind of due diligence or background checks we do to be able to come to the sort of numbers we've come to. I have a specific document from Ghana Revenue Authority, right? An audit that was done upstream.
and you would realize that Aksa is a microcosm of the problem. There are a lot more bigger issues. In fact, a lot of your FPSOs that were procured and we popped champagnes over and cheered and applauded, you know, presidents went to commission them. Values were placed on them whose values cannot be authenticated. And unfortunately, what happens is that anytime the country accepts these values, the country has to pay for it. Because your international partner, so I'm talking about procurement contracts, beyond the NPP and DC, we also need to look at the procurement, the whole procurement space, as far as international or foreign contractual issues are concerned. Thirdly, the workings of Parliament. I think that for quite a long time, we all shy away from calling a spade a spade. We cannot continue to pretend that we've elected 275 and they are being 276, and they are being extremely diligent as far as the public finances is concerned. If you go through the AXA issue properly, you would realize that a contract thing that went to the floor of Parliament, referred to the Mines and Energy Committee, was assessed in a day, brought back to plenary and passed under certificate of it. You wonder what kind of work really would go into this. And so the workings of Parliament, as the arm that is supposed to superintend over the executive, you know, by way of expenditure, what kind of monies we are throwing out there, Parliament will need to be strengthened entirely. And for that reason, Sanda, if I would even propose, I would ask that we have a second house made up of purely technical people.
And you can trust those ones?
The academics, you know, you can hold them at least for some of their views, right? The academics, the the engineering people.
We are told that the academics, the civil servants are the most corrupt in our space.
When they find themselves working under the politicians, then they team up. It's like you put in a cat and another cat, right?
Two pussycats.
I didn't want to use the first word, two cats, you know, in the same space. You would only be teaching them how to cooperate, so they cooperate. But if you made the other,
Why are you laughing?
I'm surprised. What's happening here?
Dr. Zato, I knew this will get to you. You see?
I just want to know why you're laughing.
No, we'll get there.
The man says.
So the workings of Parliament would be called into question. If you go through all that, what happened in the US, you know, with Beko, and the evidence as has been adduced by the FBI, part of which I understand were even leakages or things that Beko's own friend could have leaked to the FBI by way of confession, certain things he said, you know. I will not sit on this platform and within 10, 20 minutes pretend to know all the facts. I don't. I would want to hold Beko, right, for the things he said. If indeed the things on the tape that the FBI had to tender in evidence in court to convict him are the exact truths, then we have a problem, Sanda. You were in this country when the GFA thing with Anas came,
number 12.
And number 12, and people were happy to receive monies here and there. It looks as though the bigger problem for us is not what the Ghana police, you know, a few officers will be by the road, and then we tag them as the most corrupt. Sanda, I'm sure if you put all the monies they collect in a day, over a week, over a year, one ministry's negligence would wipe that out in no time. And yet, when we want to talk about the most corrupt institutions, everybody looks at the police, 1 Ghana, 2 Ghana. Those are monies that sometimes the citizens willingly and voluntarily give to them. And it doesn't go to affect anybody. But if you have a technical person at the ministry as a technical person who is paid, is provided with a Prado or a Land Cruiser to be able to aid mobility, is provided with all the serious gadgets you can imagine, all the comforts, to be able to do a technical job and they get compromised. Sanda, it is as bad as buying a security door, right? That cannot lock. So anything at all enters. Meanwhile, you've paid premium for that door. I think that this AXA thing, depoliticize it. 1. 2, go through the procurement breaches. You don't probably need the FBI to give you everything, right? I have heard my brother Ben Boache this morning on some other platforms, and some of the facts as he documents them, Sanda, would leave you wondering, what sort of a country are we building? Power plants that ordinarily should not cost up to 30 million. If you scale up with all other things and even arrive at 100, we went to sign to pay 750 million for.
And that's because some people would benefit, or we don't know how to
one of the
negotiate.
things, annoyingly, is that it is not as though, you know, the figures escalated or went up so high because the people who should have done due diligence proper receive 100 million or 200. You are talking of $1 million. You are talking of 46,000. Look, some of the amounts you hear, and then they tell you they paid that amount to Parliament, our MPs. It's annoying, to say the least. People are fleecing all of us, running into hundreds of millions. And I cited the JRA report on the petroleum upstream, right? If anybody pushes me, we'll put that report also out.
We don't have to push. You should put it out in the interest of the public.
They know it. GRA knows it.
So
they did an audit.
Bring it out for us.
Don't worry, Sanda. We'll get to that discussion also. Where your FPSOs, if you track and trace where they buy the vessels, right? The original vessels. How they
we have 2 or
refurbish.
3 now, right? We have
3.
Atabels and
Nkrumah. And Nkrumah. You see, most of them should not get to about 300 million USD. Yet, we procure them for over $1 billion USD. Just so your partners can be able to take additional oil to be able to offset a certain payment that we shouldn't have been paying for. It is the same thing you see with AXA, where instead of doing proper due diligence, coming to realistic values for those plants, those old machines, right? I'm told we're coming from Vietnam or something, right? We decided to go and sign take or pay. We decided to agree to values that will be trumped up by these foreign partners. And we sit here and ask the Ghanaian electricity user to pay for it.
But Duncan, so the question is being asked. So Berko has been convicted. He will go to jail. He has made some statements. Should we believe that wholly? If he says he has given 1 million, should we automatically believe that he actually indeed has given 1 million? What if he said that he has, but he put the thing for his pocket?
Sandra, that is why I made those 3 preemptive statements. Don't politicize it, because the moment you do NPP and DC, right? Trust me, all of the facts, all of the evidence, all of the important issues will be lost to all of us. Because NPP will come and defend, NDC will attack, NDC would defend, NPP will attack. You will lose it. So detach the politics. Go through the procurement processes that prevailed before that whole AXA thing came up. I've seen IOCO, OSP, and other investigative bodies together with the Attorney General's office say they are probing. Do not probe it on partisan basis. Those are my warnings. Don't think that, oh, I need to probe it because my brother here is NPP or NDC and I don't like his face. Okay? Let me try and put dirt on him. When I do that, I will skew whatever investigations towards a certain political end, and it will not help the country. Again, go through the procurement processes, and then thirdly, go through the workings of Parliament. Did Parliament really do what it's supposed to have done for due diligence before approving that international contract? If you're able to establish these 3 factually, I do not think you would even need the FBI to tell you who did right or wrong. I have seen payments, I mean, as ridiculous as Ministry of Power, you know, girls.
Ministry of Power girls.
What is their locus?
Ministry of Power.
Girls, MOP girls. Payments.
Special payments.
It's ridiculous.
So they got 20,000.
You see? But it is ridiculous. Chief, honestly, if you go and tell me a certain secretary at the Ministry of Power, if my brother went there and gave her $5,000 or $10,000, and that is the basis for which he got a contract, I would say no. Those girls are inconsequential to anything.
Are you sure?
Sandra, you see, the girl cannot sign.
But the girl will facilitate.
That is why they are there.
And make
they are there to facilitate.
Make the signer happy.
But you see, they are there to facilitate. Sandra, if you took a document there today that you want the minister's attention to, it is for you to take their number and say, "Oh, I'll call to check if you." They will do it.
Yeah, but if they take 20,000, that's a big deal.
Sandra, if you offer 20,000,
this was 2014.
Wait, if you offer 20,000, the motive for which you were offering it must rather be the one being investigated, because the girl is in a place to do her job. She'll facilitate every document, good, bad, correct, not correct, but she is not the one to grant what you are bringing.
But here's the case, we don't know if that's really their role. What if their role was they facilitated the movement to Turkey and back? That could also pass. Or went to Turkey and
They
back.
are there to facilitate everything for the minister or the ministry, the people who are supposed to take the decisions. So for them, if you tell them we are taking 20 people to Turkey, get tickets, get hotel, they'll facilitate. It's their job, basically. I'm saying that we cannot hold everything Beko has been convicted, you know,
as a truth.
As the truth.
Okay.
But as a country, we can also go on a certain probe. And that probe should be devoid of the NPP NDC partisanship. One. It should also factor into the procurement processes that we have as established. Sanda, Aksa is on the front pages today because a certain Beko has been convicted.
Yeah.
But I can tell you for a fact, a lot more infractions or breaches may even be happening today than happened in 2014. Don't forget that what the politicians, they do best. When Sanda is able to create a certain hole somewhere, and Sanda leaves, the next person who comes does not close the hole. They find a way to enlarge it so that they embellish and chop more. So we don't correct systems. I am more focused now on not even just retrievals or getting monies back if we indeed lost money to AXA. But I'm interested in sealing those loopholes. It is the corrupt loopholes, right? That at the end of the accounting year, our budget, government will spend 213 billion. Sanda, if you look across the length and breadth of the country, do you see 230 billion investments or even $100 billion investments? Yet on paper, we are constructing this, we are doing this, we'll spend this, we'll spend this. Sanda, where has that led us? After 5 years of spending the billions, if there's still nothing really to show for, it tells you that all the monies you hear in your finance minister's budgets, a lot of it goes down the drain. And AXA is a clear example of some of the breaches you find in your procurement systems. And then the body that should oversee, right? If itself, as Beacon's thing is talking about 46,000, and then you hear on more than one occasion that even for ministries to get their budgetary things approved, sometimes they need to go well. That's the language, you know, go well. I think that our parliament under Speaker Bagman should begin to give a lot more confidence to the people who elect them to do the jobs they do. They should sit there. If you bring a budget and they need to go through it, it takes a week to probe one ministry. Please do that. And don't give us that same day certificate of urgency. We bring it. Yeah. They sit. Sometimes, if you ask them, look, I heard one MP recently ask whether they really passed that one. He was not sure.
Maybe he was not in parliament.
He was in parliament.
No, he was not there that day. He was on vacation.
Sanda, I think that one, let's strengthen parliament. If there's a need to get them an upper house, right? Put the likes of Prof there. Put the engineers, the technical people. They are not working under anybody.
Why not ask Zato?
I should ask Dr. Zato.
As part of the upper house to check the person.
If at the end of the day we stop the booty one, I'm sure he will qualify eventually. But you see what I'm saying is put serious technocrats up there
to second check.
To at least go through everything. They will put their comments, observations, factual analysis, whatever tables they need to present.
But the committees invite experts to come in.
In a day?
Yes.
Sanda.
Sometimes they go outside Accra and go and spend time
in a day. A 200-page contract. You will sit some 2, 3, 5 hours in a day. And you think that you would have... Sanda, I think we are joking. Honestly, strengthen parliament.
Okay.
Otherwise, Aksa is not just going to be with Beko. It is going to repeat itself. It is repeating as we speak, I'm sure.
Okay.
If you go upstream, Sander, if I give you that JRA report, you will weep.
We'll be waiting for you to send that report.
If I give you that report, you will weep. Because the things that we should not condone as a country, we seem to allow. Aksa would probably get away with so many millions of the ordinary taxpayers' money. And the taxpayer itself does not even sometimes get the benefit of the power. I heard Ben watch it this morning, and it says that if you go through the usage of those plants, right, Aksa was about the least that we were able to get anything from, 16%. And yet we were paying so high. So it tells you that no due diligence was done. The plants are probably 20 years old, and yet we're paying for them as though we're buying new plants. Again, if you put the plants on for a continuous period, you probably get problems. So you turn it on at some point, you need to shut down. So I think that the procurement processes have been very poor. Detach the politics, check the procurement processes, but thirdly, make sure you strengthen Parliament. Otherwise, they will sign and approve and come back to ask you, so we want to sign, and they approve you. They did, but they are not even aware.
Thank you so much, Duncan Amwa. Let me bring in Honorable Aban. So the House of Parliament is supposed to check these things and make sure that we have quality for the money that we spend.
They said they collected 46,000.
Yeah, no, they said your committee members. I don't think you were in Parliament by then. You came in 2017. This matter happened before you, so you're a bit safe. But it continues through, and the House of Parliament is being questioned, the daily service questioned, individuals who were in the government at the time, and even people in your party are being questioned. How is Parliament failing us?
Thank you very much. Let me start with where he ended. Let us strengthen Parliament. How do you do that? And the citizenry, do they think they are immune from this duty to strengthen Parliament? What kind of people do they vote to Parliament?
Good question.
Okay? And what is their own consideration for voting for those people? We should not hear and think about those there. We should think about what we ourselves do. Okay? Most probably we will come to the elections.
Your regional elections, yeah.
The regional elections. And I can bet with my last coin, I'm sure they are distributing money now.
Oh, no, don't do that. They are not.
I'm telling you what happens.
Sander, are you in Rome or you are?
It's happening behind my school, Tama Secondary School.
Okay, so let me tell you, at the end of that exercise, we'll get a bunch of riffraffs in Parliament. Take my word for it. I'm being very blunt here. A country that will develop should look for their brightest and the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, we would be in Parliament. Somebody would not even go to his pigeonhole to see what documents there are for him to read before a vote. And the person would vote here. So it is not surprising that you would see somebody asking, what was the person's motivation for going there? Parliament, politics is lucrative. And how did they get it? Through these kind of schemes. Okay? So we go and sit as a committee, and at the end of it, they will give you something. You may not even know that it's a bribe. Let me be honest with you here.
It may not be packaged as such.
It will not be packaged as such.
Nobody will pay a bribe and call it a bribe, Sander.
Okay.
They'll bring it to you.
So the committee that is looking at it, after everything, they may give them some envelopes. I'm being honest with you, because that's what happens in Parliament. And so you go to Parliament and people are asking, which committee is more lucrative? People want to be on the finance committee. People want to be on energy. Those areas that deal with big money. Okay. Those monies, where do you think they're coming from? It's part of either the kick front or the kickback.
It's part of the Beku scheme.
Let's face it as a country.
True.
Let's face it as a country. And when you go in there and you cannot devise some of these schemes, by the time you go back for a re-election, you have nothing. Meanwhile, those down there are also asking for money.
Waiting.
And so it's a cycle, a very vicious one.
So the citizenry is responsible for, or to be held accountable for what's happening in the House of
Partly. Partly. Go there, nice gentlemen. Go and tell them that all you have is your integrity.
PC appear for it.
They should give you their mandate, and you in turn will give them unalloyed loyalty, and you're not going to steal their money. They will kick you out. They won't vote for you.
That's not what they want.
That's not what they want. So the typical Ghanaian is intrinsically corrupt.
Agreed.
That's what you have to understand. The typical Ghanaian is intrinsically corrupt. And why do you think that seed of corruption sown with our collective blessing would yield fruit of honest men and women? How is that possible?
Not possible.
Yet you would see people pointing accusing fingers at the politicians. The politicians are just an infinitesimal point of the larger population. So who voted them? What did you take to vote him? Now let me tell you a story. My junior went to hold my brief in a case recently. So after he had mentioned his name, a lawyer approached him and said, which Alex Aban are you talking about? The former deputy minister? He said, yes. Excuse my language. Where he got to, he has still come back and
to court
doing practice with us. If I were him, I would have been okay, and probably I'll be enjoying my investment. This is coming from a lawyer, so you can imagine the others.
So that's expectation from your community.
Expectation from the society generally. Look, I had to remove my sticker as an MP in protest against somebody. This was at Chado Goyle filling station. I had just parked to get fuel. Somebody also drove in. Oh, honorable, we're this, we're that. Once I've seen you, you have to give me 2 gallons of. So I just tore it off, threw it in the dustbin, and said, "You are the reasons why Ghana is not developing, because I have not taken a penny." And I'm speaking on air.
With all dignity.
I have not taken a penny of the public's money. Why do you think I should do that? Because in your mind, I have gone to steal, so I should give you yours.
All tips. Everybody is stealing.
Is that not it? What is the motivation for the youth to go into politics?
How?
It's because there's
I want a small digression. So, how easy would it be for a mindset like yours to be in the House of Parliament and work in the manner you intended to do? How easy and difficult is it?
Extremely difficult.
Impossible or difficult?
Very, very difficult. And it is getting to the point of impossibility.
True.
So because as at now, the decision of the Supreme Court,
yes,
if I should even digress to that point,
yes,
though well intended, did not take into consideration our culture. I can assure you, they are now going to even strengthen the power packs, those with bigger pockets, to go into politics. And excuse my language, most of them are very stupid.
After expanding the system, it's still going to be possible to.
I am telling you, that's what I'm saying. That when we started, it was just the chairman of the various so small group. People could come them, give them money, right? It became bigger, right? Still, people had to pay money.
Now
right?
It becomes extremely big.
It becomes extremely big.
Everybody.
But I can assure you that people will still come and say that, take this for TNT. I mean, I just want to give that example, not because I want to be partisan.
Yeah.
When the NDC was going to do that, and the president said, everybody was going to get 40 cedis.
40 cedis, yeah.
You calculated and it was 30 million Ghana cedis.
Yeah, it was big.
Right? So if you did not have 30 million Ghana cedis to go and give to people as TNT, how would you be a president? Even if you are the best that you can do. When I went to the Parliament of Singapore and listened to all that I took home was just use your brightest and the best. The country will succeed.
But we won't use that here.
No. It's about loyalty.
We use the richest and the dump, maybe.
It's just about loyalty.
And money.
And so, if you're talking about strengthening parliament, okay, it also comes with it, educate the minds of the people.
So we can have, so you are suggesting we may have a lot of access happened in parliament, and will keep happening in parliament.
It keeps happening. Let me tell you. So you see, this thing of they came and parliamentarians took 46,000, and
it's annoying.
It's most probably they just packaged it for the committee members without even knowing that. But they went to consider it anyway. But the thing is that if you have 200-page documents, legal documents, for Christ's sake, with all the circuitous language
and numbers,
which would require equanimity of mind to deal with, and you're just going to consider it in a few hours and send it to a house composed of persons who do not know their left from right.
Some of them don't.
When the majority are like that, virtually you say it's like that.
True.
Right?
You don't sound happy about the state of affairs.
I don't.
Why should he be?
I don't. Let me tell you how I entered politics. Then you will understand me. I was district president of Commonwealth Hall. In fact, I love the leadership part. I hate the politics part. And I did my work so well. So the old vandals were the people who came and said that they had never seen a student leader like me before. And so they financed my primaries in 2003. And so those values that I share, why should I change them when I become an MP?
2013.
2003.
2003, okay.
I was a small boy then. And so I still keep those values. And that's why I'm sitting on your platform saying that I've not taken a penny belonging to the state. How many would you get to come and say that? Okay? So I see it, and that's why people tell me, oh, but you are not a politician. Because the mention of the word politician connotes or sends very negative connotation to the minds of people. And they see politicians as twisted people and all that. All right? So it is time we started talking about these things, especially the NDC and NPP. And the day Ghanaians will rise up, wake up and say that enough of your dirty money. Come and tell us sense so that we vote for you without taking anything. That's when we will say we have arrived.
But can we also possibly consider a second layer to check what Parliament is doing, like Duncan is proposing?
What kind of people will be voted there? Those second layer, are they going to?
Is that technical people?
Are they going to be appointed? And if they are going to be appointed, what will be the consideration? We are in Ghana here, right? Are they going to be elected? If they are going to be elected, who will elect them? I don't want to sound elitist, but you see, when the United States, who we are imitating, started democracy, I don't want to sound elitist. And if I touch on anybody's sensibilities, I'm sorry. Women were not voting. Slaves were not voting. Other people were not voting.
They didn't own lands.
Those who owned land, who were merchants to a certain level, who were academicians, were the people who were voting. And so bread and butter was not the issue. They were thinking about how to get to the moon. Right? And so those things was what conditioned their mind. In fact, women started voting in the United States in 1921. And of course, 1964, we had the slaves, and the blacks and all that. Okay? I'm not saying we should do that. But if you're going to do democracy the way we are doing it, then we must educate our people down there too. Because if you go to the village and somebody tells you that, and the only reason why, and he's going to get only 5 cedis.
And you say it to your face.
Of course. And they are going to just get 5 cedis and mortgage their life for 4 years. My goodness. So strengthening parliament, that's where it comes from. Because as this now, it's about those who will pay. As simple as that. So how do we strengthen parliament? When we bring people who are unable to even read or string together even 2 sentences. How are they going to appreciate that legal document? That's point number 1. Now, let us agree that this is who we are. Sometimes we cannot differentiate between appreciation, okay, and bribery. Sometimes we are not able to do that.
It's similar. True. Or it's the same?
They shouldn't be the same. Otherwise, they will not have the same. They would have had the same nomenclature.
Culturally, can it not be the same?
Culturally,
when you go to
no.
the palace, it's the same thing. Huh?
No, but you see, you go to the palace.
To the extent that someone gives you a land and we have Asida. What is Asida?
Yes, Asida is appreciation.
Yeah.
But when you give something because that will be the influence, okay, that will be the consideration for certain favor to be returned to you. That's bribery. Let me tell you, today I'm really revealing a lot of things. When I was in the Ministry of Health,
as a deputy,
I received a lot of people who came. Oh, Honorable, we can provide financing for this, for that, and we'll make sure that you are fine. In fact, that document will never leave my desk to even the minister. I was there just to do my work. Oh, but I'm fine, said. But the reality dawned on me when I was going for a primary and I realized I didn't have anything. That's the truth.
If you had accepted the fine,
so you lost the primary.
No, you will lose, of course.
That is the truth. I'm not a paragon of virtues, but we just need about 200 of my sort at the top. We'll change the country.
Agreed.
I'm being honest with you. I can see the way you are looking at me.
No, the whole
but you may be surprised the way I'm speaking.
Yeah.
Because this is me. We have the resources. We have the human capital in terms of expertise, but we are bankrupt here.
We will not use them.
And so if you have somebody who is well educated and the person is a thief, and so this thing it has just come out because
you're not shocked by
because
what
no because one Bekun has been arrested.
Convicted.
It's normal.
Very, very normal. What are you talking about? They call it deal. Okay? When a person does it down there,
today will happen tomorrow.
he's stealing. But when it is done by the politicians, it's a deal. Okay? So we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. Sometimes they create some funny projects and then it is being sold out to people where people are taking 10% and all those kind of things. It's because there is so much pressure on the political parties and the political parties need money to run. Why is it that this, if you go to the ordinary market, let's say it is 10 cities, but when the government is doing it,
procurement 50,
it's 50 cities. What nonsense is that? When the government is even doing it on a larger scale, should it not? Economics told us that you have to get economies of scale from that, right? So the unit price must even go down. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
But what do we see? And so one Bekun has come out and for instance, me, all the denials and all those things from Katie Hammond, I just listened to it and let it pass through here. It is not true.
Why? How?
Master, I live in this country. I've been in parliament before.
Yeah, he said his client has never seen or
Do you need to see the person before you take money from him?
He has never taken money from him before.
It's a good question.
Let me tell you, people go into politics because it is lucrative. People are not going there to serve. They keep saying, oh, we are going to serve, and all that.
When they serve their
because
bellies,
it is lucrative.
you know go join.
Because
You know go join politics.
tell me the logic of economics in this. If you are ready to spend as much as 3 million, 4 million, 5 million Ghana cedis just to enter parliament, and your expected legitimate income is not up to that, what kind of financial logic is that? It's because there's something extra somewhere which you would get. Master, give us a break.
So there's a motivation. But the bipartisan probe that your party is calling for.
It will be a window dressing because you will see by the end of the day, you will see people who are on either side of the political divide being culpable. Please, let's leave it.
So they can't do a committee and you can't trust that committee to do a proper independent work.
We will do it, all right, come out with facts, but we will not be able to prosecute anybody.
Okay. So what should we
do to stop it?
Should we this particular deal how do we localize and punish the local people involved here? Or we should just say, listen, America, you've decided to go to court and jail somebody. We are fine. Our OSP has spoken about it. Our AG has spoken about it. Do you trust that something will happen? Should something happen?
It is a subculture. Okay. So the very person who has even the duty to investigate others, he himself may, with all due respect, I'm not saying that, but because it's a subculture, he himself may be given some contract somewhere and he is already taking his own cut. What moral ground does he have?
True. Prof, our senior here somewhere.
That's why you tell me that I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I just want to serve my country in as much honesty as I can.
Do you still plan to go to parliament though? Or you've given up on that?
I wish I could go to parliament because the work I can do it. But the process of going there is so enmeshed in corruption that sometimes I ask myself, am I the one?
So you cannot pay your way through. You don't plan to do that. And that's the only way.
Bring the money and let me give it to them. I'll go there.
Duncan, look for money for Honorable so that he can. Prof.
Yeah, that's still another way. The first primary she won, how do you win it?
Of course, let me be honest with you. So you go there and realize that, you have to get money from people. Okay, so my friends brought me money, blah, blah, blah. So you give it out. And sometimes, if probably you are the president and people are coming, giving you the big money, you should know that once you win, you owe a duty to them.
You pay back.
And that's why you have to give them some contracts, right? And the terms may be so injurious to the state, but you have to succumb.
All right. I mean, Sandra, it's a deja vu if you look at this again.
Okay.
I mean, we keep getting recurring themes of this coming up, whether NDC, NPP, or whichever government it is, and even in other developed jurisdictions, we have these things coming. And would it ever stop? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes. But looking at where we are with it, I mean, it's only the politics and the depoliticization and optics of it also. So in having these discussions, and it's more so when these things come, I don't usually want to jump into the political bandwagon, regardless of who is involved whatsoever. I mean, we are still here saying that Ken Oforiatta out there is still not been determined by any court as having been guilty whatsoever. Interestingly, when people want to bring their political dimensions to things, they're saying that he shouldn't come back to face the law, but invariably saying that we should speed up things also with names that have been, redacted in, judgments or investigative reports. Having said that, because sometimes we live in a society where there's a fine line between, corruption, gift culture, etc. I think that it's about time, which is why I was very impressed when the president's code of conduct emerged from the Jubilee House. It started to put threshold on what constitute gifts whatsoever. I have worked in other jurisdictions where £50 or $50 gift, you've got to declare. There's a threshold to it. So having had this threshold within this confines, anything you know that you are receiving that is above a certain limit is. So when the presidential code of conduct or ministerial code of conduct, which covers almost all appointees within the Mahama Opoku-Agyeman administration, it puts a threshold ceiling as to what determines a gift and what you should. And I think the president himself exemplified that when he received a Chinese EV vehicle by putting it on the presidential fleet. I know in time past and history that we've seen, a gift again that came was treated in ways that marred the whole discussions of what it is. So when these things come up, there's always some hesitance as to what but most people don't, or most of us don't have expertise in certain realms, which is why quite often than not, I often will say, okay, even with auditors' reports, immediately an auditor general release a report, whatever we find in there, we just run off with the conversation and name people, and name people as guilty of, and after, we start getting revelations. In accounting practice or in auditing practice, that's what we call the audit expectation gap. And by audit expectation gap, we're talking about what you perceive when you get the report versus what is actually the reality. Maybe there was an error. There could be an explanation that is justifiable. If none of this is within that discussion and we run ahead of ourselves to make conclusions, become judge and jury at the same time within the social court and pass judgment on people, it becomes a recurring issue that does not help the public discourse and, for that matter, public services. I mean, having gone into public service and being a politician, I've worked in jurisdictions and people would know the quality of my work and the rank of what I do that nobody would even ever question me. But getting into politics, you are put under the scrutiny. People are forcing to even say that you are what you say you are not. And putting all sort of things, but it comes with the hazard of the job. But when you do this, we make sane people shy away from the political fray where we should have had them to be a part of it. And I'm just using this opportunity to say that because this is a report that's come up. I mean, it's a redacted report. Some names have been mentioned. We can make inferences whatsoever. We have investigative bodies. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has been acknowledged. The AG's department has been acknowledged. I'm not saying nobody, it's done nothing wrong. These are cultures that happen. I mean, and this also have to also let us have a certain measure of invitation as public officers. When you are invited to a certain trip or whatsoever, you ask yourself, do I really need to be there? And even if you are there, at what point in time should this happen? And I'll give another classic example. Look, an institution that I have a friend working for told me, oh, look, you're friends with this agency. Can you help us book this for us? Which you needed to pay. Okay, so I said, okay, well, I'm there now. Let me just see what happens. Because the dates are fast going, I needed to get the booking done. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use my card to get this payment for you, but your agency will probably have to refund me. Then I was there and he calls me and said, look, we're doing the paperwork. Can we pay it into your account? I said, no, if this gets into my account and tomorrow your agency gets a favor from government and I'm being invited, how do I explain myself, Sander?
So say that you paid for, you opened the door, you are Ministry of Power boys.
You get it? So these are some of the interpretations that would come when we don't use certain discretions. But it's for these happenings that activate some of these discretions in us. So all what I'm saying is that let's not be partisan. But again, to help with the discourse and how we treat it, I don't know, I may be wrong, but in gleaning through the reports, I think the Honorable K.T. Hammond's name was mentioned. Is that
he
not?
Was a member
of the committee.
Yes.
So I think that the optics is not very great when they say you're a member of a committee and you pick up the case of another person. It's just, I'm not saying it is conflict, but I just thought that the optics wouldn't help. There are a lot of lawyers
in
around.
one stroke, he's a lawyer
That,
for his very good friend.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But in another stroke, his name is being mentioned. So when it happens like that, it becomes very difficult to distill the issues. Much as there may be merit to it, he may be a fantastic lawyer. He's been a long-serving deputy energy minister. He understands the industry. But when this happens and some grays are being impugned, then it masks the process and the public perception about what is going. I know Dr. Kobna Donko very well. No flamboyant lifestyle. He's a comrade. He's one of the people, one of the 7 ministers who said, look, if things didn't go a certain way, I am going to resign. And he did stick to his words. So for us to be political and start jumping and, saying, exhibit what and government official X, Y, Z, it kills the entirety of the conversation that is meant to be had. And a man has been, declared convicted. If he mentions any name, can we also hold that as gospel?
No.
That's going to be difficult because he's down already. And if he decides that I'm going to bring the rest of the people down or bring anyone along with me, what happens? So I think that we should give time, breathing space to investigative bodies to go, regardless of our politics. We said we are on a reset agenda. Right. And I hope that someday, somehow, when we're on the other side, this is how we expect to look at public discourse in this light. For me, I think that this helps. People's reputations are very important. But when you sit on the, quibbling on social media, make yourself a keyboard warrior to go after anyone that you don't even understand their trajectory and what their involvement in some of these things are, we debase our politics.
Thank you.
So for me, I think that there's a very long way for us to go in some discussions.
Thank you. That's Prof. Khalid. I want to hear from his junior now, Dr. Zato.
No, he's my senior brother. Don't do that.
No, in terms of age.
In
terms of book knowledge.
Don't do that. No, we don't have that.
Yeah.
No.
Dr. Zato, is he not your senior? In
No, not at all.
Okay.
There were these.
I've already said it.
When he tells you a cat.
I've already said that when I grew up, I want to be like him. Associate professor and advising a sitting vice president. I've said that.
I've not been on the ballot to be MP.
Look, I've heard a number of things.
Not heard you on that.
I've heard some true things happen here. And I want to start on a particular note. I disagree with my senior Vandal here, and I disagree with Prof.
Hey.
This has absolutely nothing to do with culture. It has absolutely nothing to do with tradition. It has everything to do with corruption, naked political partisan corruption. We have to, and we must call it what it is. If not, this window dressing will not help any one of us. It's just corruption. In this ruling, what happened is that we have finally seen the inside of the belly, or the belly of the beast. We've cut open the inside of the belly of the beast. And what we have seen is that we have seen the wise demons of our policymakers and of our politicians and of our civil servants. And that they have sacrificed their better angels for their own personal, parochial, selfish interests. In doing that, they have thrown the state under the bus to sacrifice and to satisfy their own whimsical, selfish deals. That is what we have seen. Absolutely nothing to do with culture, with tradition, and whatever. That's what we have seen. So if we don't call it what it is, if we don't reference it what it is, if we sit here, we are looking for adjectives and we are looking for ways on which to rationalize it, then we are also being very complicit in this fight. So let's call it corruption, let's call it naked corruption, let's call it political corruption, let's call it public service corruption, and then we can then begin to find ways on how to do it.
So we cannot say that it is our culture.
It has absolutely to do with culture. It has absolutely nothing to do with tradition.
Where you come from,
again,
when you go to the chief's palace.
You see, when we do that, we are being distant. Where I come from, if you go to Tumu and you go and give the Tumu Kuru a bottle of Shinas, you give that in public. Everybody's sitting there when you come and you give it to him. That Banyana Dynamica company, this is what I've brought to you. You don't.
Is that not where it starts from?
No, that's not where it does not start. And that's me saying that I've come to a palace, you pour libation, use this to pour libation. Do it. We don't do it. And I'm coming to what explain to you. First of all, I want to take this on a 3 different levels. The governance aspect of it. This man who has been convicted, first of all, we were told that when this issue, after all these things were done, nobody knew. It was still in the darkness. Then in January 2020, this Beku man was appointed managing director of what? Toll. Then it was after his appointment that things started emerging, especially from the United States, from the Security Exchange Commission, that hey, something might have happened. It might have involved these individuals, or this individual. And at that time, he was a political appointee of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. At that time, the Security and the State Commissions were coming out saying that, hey, this man might have done something. Then in less than 4 months of this man's appointment, he resigned. We don't know whether he was pushed or whether he jumped. We don't know that. The MD of TOR is one of the most plumpiest, if I can say that, appointments to have in government. Yeah. Nobody walks away from MD of TOR if you can stay there. So we can surmise that the reason why the man left TOR is because of what? The mere allegation, and even other than he wasn't convicted. If he was pushed, somebody said, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with your corruption or the alleged corruptions. If he jumped, somebody died. My point is that either way, the former president covered himself in glory when he allowed this man to go where he made him go.
No, but we don't have evidence that he allowed him to
If you are working, you submit your resignation, your boss can say, I will not accept.
No, you cannot. You
No,
cannot.
you can say, you can say that, but the person will insist.
Imagine
either way.
Picture this. If Beku sent his resignation to Jubilee House and Akufo-Addo said, I won't accept, are you saying he will go back to?
No, he says he won't accept it. If he says he can talk to him, he can convince him to stay.
I'm saying that you cannot
I'm saying that he can convince, but
you
either
cannot
way,
force someone not to resign.
So let's say the man resigned on his own. Is that what you're saying?
No,
he wasn't fired.
At least that's what we know.
So there are two things. No,
and so the evidence
I
emerges
made
that
that
he was
point.
meant
I
to
made that
jump.
point. If you in this case, either he jumped or was pushed.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm saying that why do you want to give credit to Akufo-Addo in this?
I'm telling you why. That because of look at the end of the day, because of those were just because of mere rumors. The guy left his position.
That's what I'm saying. That you are giving.
Okay, even if I'm saying because it was administration, I'm coming to tell you why. I'm coming to tell you. Just give me one minute.
Tell me why.
Because of mere accusations, the man lost his job.
No,
or left his job.
No.
Or left his job.
No. Yeah, he left his
He
job.
left his job.
It's not because of accusations. He left.
Why did he leave his job?
I don't know. They haven't told us. We haven't seen the resignation.
So
letter.
that is what I'm saying, that if you have the plumbiers, the juiciest, one of the juiciest jobs in government, 4 months to 8, we start hearing that you had been engaged in corrupt practice and corruption. We can add 1 to 2, and then in the middle of that, you left.
Yeah, inferring.
Exactly, I'm allowed to. I'm allowed. Even judges make decisions based on circumstantial events.
Yes.
And I'm saying that you are enjoying your position.
Okay.
It's good. All of a sudden, we are hearing rumors that you were engaged in corruption or scandal.
Yes, and you are gone.
Then you are gone.
Okay.
We can say that. In fact, we can make a strong
Could
correlation.
be the reason.
We can make a strong correlation, if not a causal link between those three and you gone.
Okay.
That was what happened under a president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Today, the man has been convicted. Courts have deduced evidence to show that part of the evidence that was used to convict him is that he gave monies to individuals in Ghana today. Those individuals are alive. Why do they still have their jobs?
Which individuals are those?
Good. Those mentioned. One, the former minister of power was mentioned.
Is he having a job?
He has an appointment with this government. He's a board chair or board member somewhere. Why does he still have his job?
So he should resign.
I'm going with analogy here. Why does he still have his job? 2, there is somebody called Ghana official 1 or 2. They have appointed.
Who is that?
I don't know the person. The state can know. They have listed their names of senior government officials and their names of senior public servants who were directly involved in this. The names are out there, involved. Why do they still have their jobs? So my point is, when this is it's not nature. So now you have to show leadership. Sometimes you have to have the balls to show leadership. Sometimes you must go up and say that, look, a court has convicted this people because of this. And part of the evidence that has shown that they demonstrated is that you took A, you took B, you took C. That is not more just an accusation. That is what a court of competent jurisdiction has accepted as evidence.
They have not been tried.
But what if the appointing authority also has similar things in there?
They have not been tried. You cannot say that.
Allow people
one
to talk,
case.
and I'm going to make my
Okay.
I allow this interjection. Please interject.
No, you cannot hold one case, okay? Say you and I are friends. You are held for something. And then as part of the things that you are held for, it emerges that you said, you gave me something. When I am not joined in that suit, and I don't have a right to defense, you cannot hold me as though I have also gone through a full trial.
Unless you are independently tried and also...
Exactly, unless I'm also tried, and then the evidence is overwhelming. And otherwise, we will be trying people based on the trials of other people. And I don't think that in law, there are things you probably call them
separate legal
entities. So let's separate them. Right. Otherwise,
so the point I'm making is that there were men and women who were directly accused or directly cited in court as having benefited from this booty.
But you see, Dr. I see where you are heading here, and I notice what you are doing here. You're trying to say that under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as president, when this person's name came up, he left the government or left the appointment. But I see, you have not adduced any evidence to show that President Akufo-Addo sacked him or told him to leave. And President Akufo-Addo did not at any point say to us that I let this guy leave my government because allegation was made against him and I want him to go and clean himself. There was no document, or there was no public or private information given to us. So I don't understand why you want to connect it to make it sound like When it happened under Akufo-Addo, he sent the guy away.
No.
But when it's happening under this government, they have left the people to remain there. I want you.
Actually, I didn't make
you are
that.
an academic.
Actually, I didn't make that. I'm happy you've made that. That's your point.
No, that's what you have done.
No, if you allow me to land, you would have seen where I wanted to land.
You made that point
No,
already.
I didn't land. I made one
No,
point.
you submitted here, and now you are saying
I'm
therefore, why is it not happening here?
I'm saying. My position is that.
There's a conjunction
that
somewhere.
there are men and women who have been mentioned. Names have dropped.
So they should go all of a sudden. They should be sacked because their names are mentioned. You know that even if your brother is jailed, it doesn't make you complicit.
Let me
Thank you.
Have you heard of the famous Epstein files?
Yes.
Names were dropped.
Yes.
One is still the president
There
of
are,
the
see,
most
there are
powerful
people.
country.
There are people that are suffering political consequences. Buckingham Palace had to literally banish the king's brother just because his name was mentioned.
But there's something called prima facie.
You are making. The prima facie. I'm making a point.
The
Somebody part of the reason why the UK Prime Minister what's his name didn't resign was because there were questions about what people close to him whose names appeared on that film, and the names appeared. And so I'm giving you, in fact, recently there was a somebody. So I'm making a point. Names appear in other jurisdictions that take this serious. Your name has appeared in something that the public, that government thinks that should have nothing to do with it. So for me, at the beginning, one of the first things we could have or we should have done is that everybody whose name was mentioned so far should, as of now, be under some form of investigation.
Which is what the OSP and AG have said they will do.
But they've not done it. I'm saying by now. Because those people are very powerful people in office and they have the ability to, for one or better way, cover their tracks.
You are the one who said you wanted justice to not grind facts.
Exactly.
So they are taking time. They are
so I'm making, so you now see where I'm coming with the issue.
Yes,
so when it has to do, so you see where I started it. Good. So my point is that, so the people that have been mentioned, I believe that by now, the president could have demanded their resignations from their current positions pending outcome. That is not announcing that you are guilty. Right. That's saying that a court of competent justice in the United States has said that you took $1 million. You are currently my representative and you stand there as me in wherever you are. Step down from that position. Let's do the investigation. The investigation comes and clears you. Will welcome you back. If the investigation comes in, that is leadership. That is you saying that here's where I draw the line.
Very well.
Number one. Number two.
End for me. I want it to end.
This issue also should be called a chain of what? Complicity. Huge complicity. Our parliament, the AG's department, and the Ministry of Energy have demonstrated that when it came to this issue, they didn't put the national interest first. They didn't put the public interest first. They put their own personal, parochial, selfish interests above everything else. And that's what it shows. He told you something about what that the guy accepts said. Yes. I can read accepts for you here. Basically what he said, and he's an expert. And ASAP started raising these issues when it was happening. Basically, what ASAP is telling us is that this whole thing should have been about $17 to $20 million. It ended at $750 million. And you know why I believe in ASAP? Every financial, when Kenneth Oriata came inside, we were all being told here that they were renegotiating almost all these things. And even the current government, Janapo is also telling us that they are still engaged in some of the renegotiations of this. Why is it that we are constantly renegotiating a contract after it has gone? That means that the assertions by ASAP and others, and also the total idea behind this, that had it not been because of this monies, we shouldn't have this deal, have some merit. There's merit to it because we are still struggling with things that should have happened. Right. So for me, in the long term, what we have to say is that, one, we did not get value for money for this contract. Fortunately for us, the men and women who put us in this are still alive. So far, they have not faced any legal or political consequences, and that is wrong.
Very well. Thank you so much, Dr. Zato. I want to bring a few of the messages before we look at the last of it, if time will permit us. Former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Chanyebo has sent a message that I just want to read. He says, I'm watching the program. I must confess that I have enjoyed the submissions of Duncan on the Aska Holy Rain scandal. The three issues raised by him, if were followed, will unravel this scandal with ease. I think the role of Parliament in protecting the public purse should be looked at again. I agree with Alex that Parliament is more complicit in plundering of the public purse. A lot of things happen there. My honest view is that Parliament has fallen into deep sleep when it comes to the fight against corruption. Equally, less than 5% of the MPs actually reviewed documents or agreements presented to them for consideration. Now that is from former Deputy Attorney General. Good morning. I am Okain from Bantama in the Senate West District. No lawyer, and certainly not the GBA, is against vacation courts. Lawyers attend vacation courts, and we have done so virtually since the pandemic. This alone should dispel any false narrative. Good morning, Sanda. Due to partisan politics, truthfulness seems to be missing in matters of law. I'm just surprised to even hear some lawyers trying to lord over judges, over the judiciary, over legal vacation. Check their names from lawyer Samu Kujeto, an elder in the law profession, lawyer Tachia, and more. That's Papa BCU in Spintex. Good morning, Umaru. One would have thought that every judge or lawyer would wish his or her case is sped up because, as the saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied. I therefore wonder why the opposition to this. Jones Aduboy in La. Legal vacation. This is a break given to the colonial judges who stay in the country for 1 year without visiting their family back home. Hence, the creation of this legal vacation for these colonial judges to pay visit to their families. That's John Kwabla Avogbedo from Fijai in Takrade. Omar, Dr. Zato mentioned delayed justice, forgetting that the judge who wants to sit as an appointed vacation judge will also proceed on leave. Your guess is as good as mine. That's Kojo from Peki. Mr. Omar, the Aksa Bribery scandal case is a question for the gods to answer because none of them, and I mean no one among them, will own up. They took such an amount from the United States. That's from Cornelius in Sunyani West. Good morning, Sanda, and your panelists. Anyone disputing Honorable Katie Hamon's claim that former Power Minister Honorable Kwabena Donko has taken a bribe should request an independent investigation. This will expose any corrupt official involved and ensure accountability. That's Wills Yoga from Abotiateti in the Volta region. I have this one from Larry Alansdogbe. He's a journalist, and he says, Beku didn't resign as a result of rumors. He was made to resign from TOR after the US SEC indicted him. He later paid the SEC about $700,000 as penalties. With payment, he felt that it was the end of the matter. Hence, his trip to UK, where he was arrested on the flight back coming to Ghana. So that is just by way of information that Larry Alansdogbe has given us. We have just 3 minutes to the end of the show. I want to talk briefly about the NPP regional election. If we can do 1 minute each, we'll both get a bite. I want to start with Honorable Abang. Your party is having an election, regional elections. Your constituency is Central Region. I don't know where they are voting, but would you take part in the election? In the election of regional executives?
I do not have a vote.
Oh, really? Your delegate system, former ministers, you are not allowed?
I think we only vote at the national level.
Oh, okay.
So I do not have a vote.
But do you have an interest in who becomes your regional chairman?
Of course.
So who are you campaigning for?
For now, I would want to just keep it cool. I'm sure the voting is already going on.
Yes, it's happening.
There's no point in talking about it.
But do you think that your party will come out stronger out of this?
We should. But I have said it, that it should not just be the highest bidder. We should stop that practice. It is not getting us the best. And it goes for both the NPP and the NDC. Especially these are the two dominant parties who want to rule this country. Unless we see that whole process as a reward, where you go through the process, pay money, and you come to reward yourself. But if you are looking at it as service, why should I pay money to you to serve you? I'm done.
So you don't think the Supreme Court decision is going to make matters easier or make things better?
Okay, so let me explain. We have come from a certain history, okay? And that history hasn't stopped. When the NPP, if I'm going to use the NPP experience as anything to go by, when the NPP started, you realize that they said, oh, they were camping people, blah, 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 so let us expand it. Then the expansion took place, and so people who had deeper pockets went ahead to do what they're doing, right? So you make everybody vote. The consideration is, the question is, those people who form everybody, what would be their own consideration for voting? If that cultural thing hasn't been taken away,
it will still be the same thing.
Even if it is 2 cities, they would want to get it. And 2 cities times the times the many people, you will still see that it is a huge drain on those individuals. You understand? Because for me,
you sound pessimistic in this matter.
I'm not pessimistic. I've seen this played out many years. And the fallout is that for each election cycle, the persons we take to parliament are a shade lower in quality than the previous one.
So that it keeps going down.
It keeps going down.
Thank you. Duncan, 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then that same.
I can only wish the NPP very well. But then again, if they haven't voted or some haven't voted and are still listening, don't consider what you get in your pocket today, because it won't survive you for 4 years. If you go for character, you go for integrity, you go for somebody who is of service and not the fake people who would come and lobby for votes once you are done voting for them, even your calls they won't pick. So I think that the delegates or the people doing the election, they should sieve them properly, elect people who think through problems and help find solutions, not people who are themselves problems.
Okay.
I think that if they did these, it will help our body politics.
Very well. Dr. Zato, the mischief in me wants to ask why you're not in Powers Region voting today, but
He didn't get a vote.
I have a class with I want to say
otherwise you would have gone to vote.
I have something. I don't have a vote. I want to talk about something quickly about the parliamentary thing. See, one of the ways Parliament can absorb it is, and I think one of the things that Speaker Bagbin can leave as a legacy is, in the US, there's something called CBU, Congressional Budget Office, an independent body that's kind of like a value for money office, completely independent. What they do, the complex bills and things like that, and they just send it to them. Those people sit down. They are bureaucrats paid by the state. Like basically, they don't have any contact with anybody except they break it down, and then they send it back to the committee. Now the committee then has you can call a value for money document, something in front of them to then look at, to read it, and then be forwarded. It doesn't mean that there's still no influence. No, lobbyists still go to them. Lobbyists still contact them, but at least, like Senior Vandal is saying here, you now have a document that tells you that this whole contract can be done for $20. But what they are saying you do is $75. Vote your conscience. We can then take that report and say, you saw that it was supposed to be this, but you voted for it. You understand? They can do that. They can establish an independent body, and Speaker Bagbin can do that as his legacy to keep it down. If he doesn't do that and goes, it becomes business as usual. And I agree. Look, when there are billions at stake, when there are millions at stake, businesses will do whatever they want to get that contract.
Very well.
And you cannot blame them.
Thank you.
Finally, coming to the voting, democracy is good. We must do the democratic thing and must try to understand.
Do you have a
the Supreme Court had made one mistake in what they were doing.
Okay.
They looked at cost narrowly. They only looked at financial cost, CD cost or dollar cost. When you do that, you will end up creating bigger problems than you do. Because remember, if the cost become too big for political parties, they will give it to the contestants to pay. When you give it the contestants to pay, the contestants need money somewhere. So right now, instead of you picking the form for, let's say, 1,000 cedis, they will say pick that same form for 50,000. Where will you get the money from? And that's how they narrowly saw cost.
Let's leave it here. Thank you so much. That's Dr. Joshua Zato. He's a senior fellow with the Africa Policy Lens. Earlier, you heard Duncan Omo, Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. Dr. Sharif Khalid speaks for the the Vice President, Professor Nana Jeno Pokwajiman, and Alexander Aban is former Member of Parliament for Gomoa West and former Deputy Minister. I am Umar Rusanda Amadou. This has been The Big Issue. We return next week with more. Please stay with us. Meanwhile, we have a special program that would cater for the NPP primaries happening later on this afternoon. Please stay with Channel 1 TV and CTFM.